What's going on, y'all? Hey, we are back. We are back. We are back. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And listen, this is another intellectual soapbox exclusive. Well, this is an intellectual evolution era exclusive. All right. You know what I mean? I have my co-host at Evolution. You know what I'm saying? Before we get into anything that we want to share with y'all, we're gonna acknowledge the comments because we got to take a pause for the cause. We appreciate y'all for pulling up and pulling and showing out. As always, the link is pinned in the chat. Okay, y'all can always pull up. You can share whatever you want to share. Hopefully you stay on topic. If you don't, I'm gonna redirect you, but I'm gonna let you share what you need to share anyway. But so that's the link right there. Okay, and it's for the YouTube and the Twitch people. Y'all both got it pinned. Y'all know what time it is. All right. So we got Dramo, you know what I mean, from Psychopath Podcast. What's going on, Dramo? What's good? What's good? You know what I mean? She said she notified. I'm glad you are. We also have Stan Joseph. Man, I haven't seen Stan in a long time. Stan the man, what is going on, brother? Good to see you. Also, we have Lady Phoenix. Hey, what's going on, Lady Phoenix? She's giving a shout out to everybody in the comments. She says, see y'all soon. Hey, we are here. What's going on? Also, I got my man Smitty from Smitty's Corner. What's going on? You know what I mean? Shout out to Smitty. Also, we got Embrace the Grace. Salute to Embrace the Grace and all her embracers, man. Give them a shout out. You know what I mean? Dramo giving a shout out again. You know what I'm saying? Also, shout out to Shot Love DK. She said, yeah, what's going on, Shot Love? Good to see you. Good to see you. Salute, family. Also, salute to my man, 100 Watts. What's going on, man? My VA brother, 100 Watts from the 757. What's good, baby? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm glad that everybody pulled up, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. As y'all know, the link is pinned in the chat. You can always pull up, share, like, subscribe, all that. We there for it. Also, man, make sure y'all follow everybody on their social medias, okay? Whether it's 100 Watts, whether it's Shot Love, whether it's Dramo, okay? Whether it's Embrace the Grace, Smitty's Corner. You know what I mean? Everybody that pulled up, man, let me see if I'm missing anybody. I've got to make sure. Okay, I got everybody. Everybody that's a content creator. Even Stan does stuff with our show Knowledge and Relationships, okay? So make sure, y'all support him. You know what I mean? And definitely support the movement, Smitty's giving us a shout out. You know what I mean? Good to see you. Good to see you, Smitty. You know what I mean? Shout love. You saying the A. Okay, see you. I see you. All right, let's get into it. Y'all. So, okay, what do people prioritize when seeking someone, okay? What is your main objective, right? What do you focus on? You know what I'm saying? And, I got somebody else, okay? We have Music for God, too. She says, I'm a constant Keys Theater, Evil Sin and Love, sis. What's going on, Music for God? I've seen you before in the chat. Salute, I'm glad that you're here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? This is my thing. What do people prioritize? We see all over the internet, we hear about this manosphere movement, we hear about feminist movement, right? We have all these different movements, right? We're hearing about all these different things and these movements that people are putting out there, right? They're saying that, men should do this, women should do that, right? And they're labeling people based on what they perceive they should do, right? But they're only giving you the fantasy part, right? They're not really giving you the ins and outs of what's really going on. They're not telling you about at times where people are going to, go through different things. They're just telling you, oh, well, if the man's making this much money and he's doing this, everything should be fine, right? Or the woman making this much money, everything should be fine. But they're not telling you the in-between. They're not telling you in between the dashes, which is a show I also got on here with a great QB. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to her, man. Rest in paradise to the great QB. Wish she was here, but she's not. But salute to her. But what are we doing in between the dashes, right? What's going on between the dashes? You know what I mean? Dramo sharing her channel. Thank you. What are we doing in between the dashes and what's really, really going on? You know what I'm saying? Smitty giving Evo a shout out. You know what I mean? But what's really going on? So that's the thing. What are we prioritizing between the dashes, right? What is really the most important thing? You know what I mean? Is it, having the money, right? Is it following a particular religion? Is it satisfying your family members, right? Because you know what? The one people that we don't really talk about is arranged marriages. Nobody really talks about that, right? That is something that even happens here in America. I hope people know that. When they move from other countries, they still have arranged marriages. I don't think y'all really think that ends, right? Because it don't. You know what I'm saying? Is it based on family? Is it based on politics? Is it based on socialism? Like, what are people seeking when they really get with somebody, right? Like, what is their perspective, or do they even have perspective, right? Are they just out here, right? Because we know some people just out here, they live in YOLO, right? They don't have no type of anything going for them. You feel me? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So are they dating with a purpose or without a purpose, right? Or are they just trying to find themselves and just get to know people, or find themselves and just build friendships, whatever they're trying to do? And I'm not knocking anybody's way of doing things, right? But the only thing I want to know is, what are y'all doing, and why do you feel like it's important for y'all? So I'm not rude. Ladies first. Eva, I'm gonna let you share. Then, of course, I know people gonna pull up, and I'm gonna let everybody share. And then I'll probably wind up sharing an hour from now. But it's all good. You can walk out.
Well, I really have to say, before as soon as you came, before I actually wanted to put my own, spin on this, I actually looked it up. People that know me know that I do a lot of research. Shout out to you, Shy. I do a lot of research before I come at these topics. And, I found three things that was kind of like compelling to everyone, that they say that all people want or should prioritize when seeking a mate, right? So it was communication, connection, and trust building. But for myself, because I'm a little different, I'm evil, I'm a little different. I look for patience in a partner. And that's only because you have to have a lot of patience to deal with me. And I tell you, because I'm so busy all the time, I'm very moody, because I'm an entrepreneur and I'm trying to get ideas out. I'm trying to, just complete everything and make my business better. I also work full time, so I do a lot. Where some men could say, she's too busy for me, or, I also look for understanding, because you would have to understand my life and what I've been through, the trauma that I've been through, to know if you can really be in my life. You know what I'm saying? And lead me. Those are the two biggest things. I could go into more, that's up to you, kings. But those are the two biggest, like, I cannot go without. So I need patience and definitely understanding. As far as like the superficial stuff, the materialistic stuff, the money, things like that, I'm very much in my soft girl life. So I don't really look for those types of things. I'm materialistic, but it's kind of with myself. Like, I don't need anybody to take care of me, but I expect certain things. Security, that's it. I need security. I need to feel secure. I'm not talking about money. I need to know that you can protect me. You will have my back, because I don't have that right now. I'm pretty much protecting myself and making sure I'm good on all levels. Sometimes I just want to go into a place, because I'm also a DJ. I want to go into a place where I can just let my guard down. And I know that this man has me. I don't have to look over my shoulder. I'm not watching what, people are putting in my drinks, because nobody's buying me drinks. Things like that. I want to really be girly and not so boss-like all the time, I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but that's the three. I'll give those as the three. And I'll stop there.
Wow. Okay, family. I'm glad that I like how you laid it out, because it wasn't confusing. It didn't sound like you was kind of like all over the place. You knew directly what you wanted to say and how you wanted to say it. All right. Before I get to my man 100 Watts, I'm gonna just shout out She Stole My Thunder. Thank you for pulling up She Stole My Thunder. I don't have the rain music like M3. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna still do a little dun dun dun. That's what it sounds like when you do a little rain music. But salute to you, She Stole My Thunder. Make sure you like and subscribe to her channel as well. Lady Scenic says, I try to simple, laugh, and cook and have as much fun as possible. I'm a bit silly because I had a Michael Jackson life, and able to be a child as a child. Okay, understanding traumas. Ooh, we got to get into that part. Okay, all right, that's definitely a big part of it. So my man, 100 Watts, man, share your point of view. You know what I'm saying? Based on the question of the topic. You know what I mean? What do you think, brother?
For me, the number one, the most important, the top of the list is decision making. The decision making that a woman has is one of the most attractive things in the world to me, because me being who I am, I'm gonna piss you off. My personality, you gonna be mad at me, you gonna want to cuss me out, all of that, that's gonna happen. We gonna get into the modes where you gonna want to headbutt me, and that's fine. I need to know that when you're in those emotional states where I done rubbed you the wrong way or you pissed off, you're not about to run out in the streets and go tell all our business to your homegirls. You're not about to, as soon as you get mad at me, you're not about to be going to hit your sneaky link because you try and get payback. I need to know that your decision making is able to be stable, whether you're in a good place or in a bad place. No matter what it is that we're going through, I got to be able to depend on your decision making. Because if we are in a position of vulnerability, you better not make a decision that's going to make it worse for us. If I'm telling you that, hey, right now we just in this spot financially, we a little strapped. I have a plan. This is what I want to do. This is what my 60-day plan looks like. Now, look, baby, over the next 60 days, I can't get your nails done. I can't get your hair done, but this is what my plan is. And if I tell you that and that rub you the wrong way and you start making goofy ass decisions, please know you're going to get cut off quick. But if I can come to you and I can tell you that and you say, all right, babe, I fuck with your plan. This is what we're going to do. All right, we're going to lock in. We're going to lock down. And as soon as we get out of this hole, we're going to go right back to doing what we're doing. That shit is sexy to me. If I can come to a woman and tell her that we down bad, because most dudes in the world are living like me, like a regular job on a salary, shit like that. We not making $100,000 a year, but I still love my woman. I tell her I love her. I give her the physical affection when I walk past. I slap on her ass, soft kisses on the forehead, shit like that. Like, you gonna get what you need from me. But if your decision making is fucked up, I promise you, I will cut you faster than getting cheated on. I promise you. I promise you. That's my thing.
Hunter Watts is serious. He's not playing. He promised it, and he gonna stick to it. Salute to our music curator, man, Vaughn Eric. Vaughn, what's going on? Evolution, go ahead, sister. Like I said, I'm not expecting the shit until about an hour from now, so go ahead.
I got a question. I'm intrigued. I want to ask, what's your sign, Hunter Watts?
I'm a Taurus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I like that. Like, you see how aggressive and strong he was with that? I like that. Like, yeah. Like, I would look at him and say, he's able to protect me. Nobody's going to play with this man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to have any problem. I could be in my soft girl era. I can be as feminine as I want to be. You know what I'm saying? So that, yes. I don't know if the ladies understand that, but that was good right there. That was good. I appreciate that, definitely. I know Mr. Best, like, what is going on? I just noticed that Mr. Best.
Oh no, I'm not y'all talk. Y'all have y'all talk. I'm chilling.
Yeah. I like that type of strength. My father had that type of strength. That's the type of strength I look for. A lot of men I encounter kind of drop the ball when it comes to that. It's whatever I want them to do, or you get what I'm saying? They're almost like yes men. And even though I entertain it for a little while, it like never works out. I don't really see men that talk like this too much. Mr. Best talks like that too. So I can take direction from, a strong man.
I would definitely say for myself, this was a developed skill, because there was definitely a point in my life where I did think like that. Like, I was raised by mainly my mother. So I had the happy wife, happy life, do everything that you're supposed to make sure that she's happy. And I did that, and it didn't work. Like, that shit didn't work. Every time I would come and have, all right, baby, this is what we're going to do. This is what I think is going to set us up. And as soon as she get I don't really like that, because I still want to get my hair done type shit. It's like, all right, damn. All right, I'm failing. Like, it immediately makes me feel like I'm failing and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. When in reality, I am doing what I'm supposed to do. We just not there yet. Like, what you're looking for, I can do. We just not there yet. And yeah, no, I've been around a lot of different groups of men, and when they battle with that, I think the hard part is that when certain men do stand in what it is that we're talking about right now, like when they stand in that, it gets shamed on a lot. Like now you're being controlling, or you're being overbearing, or you're trying to tell her what her body should look like, or you're telling her what she should wear. Like, I think that gets shamed too much, because I have no problem in the world watching my lady get, like, if she tells me she wants to go out with her friends, please have fun. Get your ass out the house. Let me play 2K in silence. Like, I want to play 2K in peace. Go have fun. But I have no problem like watching her stand there in the closet. Nope, I don't like how that look on you. Hell no, you're not wearing that. You're not about to have niggas looking at you in that shit and I'm not there. Nope, I'm not with that. It took me a while to be able to get to that, because to me, if I tell you that and it upsets you, then you're telling me everything that I need to know. You're telling me that my feelings, my thought process, and what I deem to be security for our family, you don't see it the same way. Because what you wear is part of me doing my job. It's part of securing you. Because if you leave the house in some bullshit and somebody start fucking with you when you outside the house and I'm not with you, how am I supposed to protect you? Because I know how niggas work. If you walking outside with your ass out, I know how they work. I know what they thinking when they see you. And you at the club, you out with your homegirls, and y'all out there twerking and shaking ass to Sexy Red. Come on now, stop trying to play me like I'm stupid. You wanted me to secure you. You wanted me to give you security, and I'm trying to give you that, and you pushing back. I think if a woman really wants a man that's gonna provide the security, she got to really be willing to accept that shit. And if a man is really gonna provide the security, don't tuck your nuts. Actually do it.
I respect it. I definitely respect it. I mean, I used to give men a lot of grief on the clothes thing, because if anybody does know me, they know that I'm real cold right now. I want to be respectful. It's the first show, so I'm real close right now. I usually don't do this, but I had to show some respect to Mr. Best. But, I'm usually comfortable, but I just now started to understand the whole, you should be covered up and don't wear this and don't wear that. It did. And I don't know if some of the women can, understand what I'm saying, or they've had this before. It's almost like control. I used to think of it as a male insecurity,
Can I ask you this question?
Mm-hmm.
So as you're talking about your clothing, would you normally be like covered up and bonded up in the house, and then when you leave out, you got some sexy shit on, or is it just you just with it 24/7?
I want to answer that, but okay, I would just say it like this. I feel like clothes are restricting. So when I'm in the house, I'm free. When I come outside, I'm in sexy attire, heels and all. Because I want to be totally in my soft girl era. I want to be prissy. I want to be treated a certain way when I'm out. So I dress. I'm very feminine. Everybody does not know me. But, I am from New York City. But I come out very confident. Yes, that's a woman when you see her. And her glow.
See, that's a beautiful thing. When you ask me my side and I say I'm a Taurus, you be like, oh, that makes so much sense. As soon as you say you from New York, it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. Yeah. To the fellas out there, when you meet a chick from New York, you just gotta understand she just bred different. She just get down on a different type of time, cause like that's just what it is.
Yes.
She could love you. She could love you and pull a blade out her mouth in the same breath, cause like she just bred a little bit different.
When New York women keep you on your toes, and I'm very New York, but I have a very feminine side, and and I used to feel like, because if I was in a relationship and a man would say, you can't wear this or you can't do that, and it was like, I used to look at it as insecurity. I've been on a lot of platforms, and I see now how men actually view it, that, they can't protect you, like you were saying, when you was out. So I understand it now, but I done gave a lot of men hell over that one. Like, I'm single now. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for a great relationship. I want to find a good partner because now I know how to treat them. But I've given a lot of good help on certain things.
So here's a question for you. Whenever you would give them hell about it, is it because they didn't communicate it well, or you just had your own thought process behind it?
I would say both, because when men when the people I was in relationships with, when they would tell me something, it's like, why you wearing that? And why you going out looking like, who you going to look for? And you can't be out there with your breast showing, or your butt too big for this, or whatever. And I used to just be like, look, you met me like that. Like, this is the same thing that got you. So what's the problem now? And I can never correlate that. You know what I'm saying? I can never correlate that. Okay, he loved me, he cared about me, and he wants to protect me. Sometimes some men are just controlling like that. You know what I'm saying? But I guess you gotta figure out which one is which. And I always had an issue with that. I
think that
in heels. I'm different.
I think that is funny. I think it's funny, that response that you gave, you met me like this. I think that response is always funny, is because I know that's what you were doing to get the attention of someone you wanted to lock in with. And apparently you locked in. So why are you still doing the same shit that you were doing to get attention? You got the attention you was looking for. Why are you still looking? You're doing the same shit you was doing to get attention. You got it, and you still looking for it? Why am I not good enough? That ain't an insecurity. Come on, yo. Like, you was doing this to accomplish something. You accomplished it, and you're still doing it. What the fuck are we doing right now? What are we doing right now?
That makes sense. But I'm gonna be honest. The only way she could combat that, and I'm not even gonna say combat because that's a bad word, but the only way she could say something about that is what I'm thinking. It's me. Like I just happened to find a good man while I was out there. But that's me. That's how I feel comfortable. Now
okay. And if that's you, then don't be mad at me when I'm outside flirting with these other bros. Cause that's just me. My personality. I'm just a friendly guy. That's how you met me. That's how you got me. Cause I was friendly. I'm just being friendly. I ain't really trying to get her number. I'm just friendly.
I'm okay with that. I'm not a jealous.
I said.
I'm not. The only time I get jealous is when someone lies to me. But other than that, if you feel like you need something else, I'm all doors open. I know that sounds
okay.
bad.
So let me ask you this: how many times does another chick have to laugh at your man before you looking at her crazy?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't know. I'm just so different. I'm not into keeping people that don't want to be kept. And I'm okay if you feel like you can't get over, you know what I'm saying? The fact that like a woman is dressed in a certain way and this, because some women, that's just them. They feel more comfortable. Like when I'm outside, with jeans and my sneakers, I'm in my full Brooklyn getup. It's, even though I'm still a woman, I'm still, it ain't really a lot feminine there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm only dressing like that for a reason. So, like, I need to be myself. Now, I could dress it down a little bit. The shirt, the skirts don't have to be so high, which I've done before. I've worn things like this, sweater dresses and stuff like that, and had to be comfortable because I didn't want to make, my partner feel some type of way. I mean, there is something called compromise, and I feel like everybody should do it. Back in the day, I wouldn't compromise. I'd just be like, all right, I see you, James or Jordan or whatever your name is. You know what I'm saying? Godspeed. But now I'm a little bit different because I'm starting to understand how men think a little bit, And what I don't know,
you a bulldozer. you a bulldozer. That's what's happening right now. Yeah, you a bulldozer. You make a motherfucker feel like he ain't doing shit real quick. Soon as he fuck up, you make a motherfucker feel like he ain't doing shit.
Right. Nah, but I'm coming back from that because I don't want to, because that's a dead end, ladies. I hate to say it. That's a dead end. You never really get to know a person. The door is always open. Like I learned the hard way from that. So, I'm a work in progress, and I feel like because I'm a little cold. I was a little cold, you know. That's because people didn't stay in my life, so it was always a revolving door. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting over that now. You know, it's like, you know what? I'm ready to put a little bit more effort into it. And a lot of ladies, I feel like, are coming to that conclusion now, especially what's going on in the world after COVID. You know, because I did COVID by myself for 2 years. But I also worked, so I put my whole mind into the work, trying to get the money to, you know. But I don't want to do that for the rest of my life, you know. So my mindset is a little different. And I think every woman that's there, they can change their mind and want to compromise, you know. Because there is a lot of compromise you have to do in these relationships.
Definitely. I think that, like, in listening to you talk, it sounds as though you understand the power of femininity. Like, to dudes that's actually out here with a purpose, looking for something to attach themselves to and actually operating in an intentional space. That shit is sexy. Like, I'm telling you, the power of being able to lay next to your man and rub on his chest and say, babe, what do you think about getting a promotion at your job? Instead of yelling at him and saying, you a bitch ass nigga, you ain't making no money, how the fuck you always broke? Instead of saying that, just rub his, what do you think about getting a promotion at your job? You know, you're so amazing at your job. You know, you tell me all the time about how your bosses need you. Why you don't? You know what, baby? You right. You know what? They have been treating me like a hoe ass nigga. I'm gonna go asking for a raise tomorrow. Like, the power of femininity is so beautiful. It's been plenty of times where I've had a woman rub her fingers through my hair and tell me, you know, maybe if you just stop being so aggressive, like, it might just get received a little better. Damn, but all right, maybe you're right. Like, that goes so much longer than, see, this was wrong with you. Every time I'm trying to talk to you, you just be on that. Nah, I ain't trying to pay you no mind. Soon as you see this was wrong, I ain't even paying you no mind no more. I'm not.
Definitely.
Hey, yeah. you put a full plate in front of me and want to talk to me about how I've been. Look, come on now. I listen to you when I'm full, but if you feeding me noodles and hot dogs, bitch, we ain't talking about shit. We ain't talking. I'm sorry, I ain't mean it like that, but no, I'm saying, but like, if you.
In New York, we call it it's the 3 F's, right? But technically, it is, you know, feed them, you know. Then there's what we call light feed, you know. That's where you got to make sure when he go outside, he's light. I don't want to tell you another show. But what, you know, and then there's the friendly part. Instead of nagging, we need you to be friendly. So that's all the F's right there. That's what, you know, is, well, I'm going to be honest. I didn't get that from outside. My mama taught me that. But, you know, they kind of changed it a little bit was outside. They call it light feet. You know, your man should never be walking around heavy. You know, so... You know, that's one thing.
Never.
That's another thing. But, you know, I understand that now. Like, I've always known it. I'm going to be honest. My mother bred me to be, you know, to be a wife, to have family, to, you know, I just went a whole nother way. You know what I'm saying? But I figure I'll come back around to it sooner or later. I guess I'm just looking for that diamond, you know, in the rough or whatever you want to call, you know, a good man that, you know, can deal with a woman like me. You know, and I'm okay with waiting if I have to until I find it, you know. I'm starting to see when you go on social media, you know, you go on these platforms and women are being told, you know, that you have to get a husband by this age. And if you didn't, you're going to die alone. You know, you have to be with someone. You have to have kids or you're not a woman. And it's just so like, you know, it's just so offsetting. Like, it's so sad to tell, you know, women that when, you know, we're all alive, like we're not dead yet, you know. So that's what I kind of do. I you know, motivate.
I always find it funny. Mm-hmm. I always find it funny hearing those statistics because nobody talks about how many men are gonna die alone. Because some of you dudes are gonna die alone too. Because, like, why are we not talking about that? That gets completely missed. Me personally, whenever I involve myself in these conversations, I want to talk about men. I want to talk about what we're doing, what we're not doing, why you fell short, how come she laughed at you, how come you're saved in her phone as dinner date. Hey, cuz you saved in her phone as dinner date for a reason, Brody. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just some of you dudes is gonna die alone too, dog. And that is getting missed. We need to figure that part out. Some of you dudes don't have the grind. I'm not saying you gotta be a millionaire, but you just comfortable. You ain't gonna do nothing to get better. You're not gonna raise your income, not a promotion, you ain't gonna switch jobs, go to school, get a certification, nothing, not a side hustle. You can open up a Shopify, sell some. I'm just saying, like, it blows my mind because as soon as you said that about women dying alone, it's like I know plenty of dudes that went 5+ years without getting any box because they just don't know how to talk. They don't know how to talk to females. Like some of you dudes are not working on your communication skills and wonder why you not getting no box. I don't understand it. But what y'all gonna do is go on YouTube and say why these is that and that is this, and if she over 30 and all that, I just don't understand. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense.
Yes. And this is every day, all the time. You know, I like to have these conversations with our community because I feel like, you know, we don't uplift each other and motivate each other. I'm all about uplifting and motivating. And we don't do that for each other. Who's going to do it? Who care about us more than us? I'm hoping that's what it is. I like to, you know, I like to think that way, you know. And like some of the people that's here, you know, let me just shout out my girls. You know what I'm saying? Sha, Vino Diva, and Lisa. These are women, beautiful, lovely women that motivate me on every platform I'm on. You get what I'm saying? And I just look at that like, you know what? So us coming together and talking and sharing ideas and stuff like that, it does work and it does help. They have completely changed my mindset about a lot of things. So has a lot of other spaces I've been into. What I don't hear us talking about though, and I'm trying to hit on it now in a different type of way, right? A couple of years ago, I was in a relationship and we started doing things like buying, I would say like long-term things together, you know, which they tell women, you know, don't buy a car with a man. Don't, you know, if you get a house, make sure your name is on and stuff like that. I started buying little things like to see where kind of we were going to go, you know, and I did buy the car. Ladies, I bought the car off the showroom floor with that man. Now, I'm going to say it taught me a valuable lesson, you know, a valuable lesson. I see why y'all say don't do that. I get it, you know, I get it. That didn't work out. I also bought a $4,000 dog with this person too. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't terrible. Now, it kind of soured me on trying to do things like that. You know what I'm saying? What I call the empire building. Now, since I put a lot of research in this stuff, I want to do that. I want to build. Let's get some properties. You know what I'm saying? You know, let's go about doing things together. Can we build together? Like you said, I'm all about uplifting my kids. I will make you feel like you got on a cape. You Superman, you going to take over the world and they can't stop you. And that's all I'm going to say. But, you know, I'm finding a lack of the type of man that I can do that too, that has that type of drive. Because I'm going to be honest, ladies, I don't care how much you want to uplift this man. He has to have a desire to want to move. You get what I'm saying? He have to have some type of desire, but you don't stop. Because if that's going to be your man, he's going to be in your life. You keep going. You keep breathing that life into him. Eventually, he going to breathe or he going to die. And that relationship going to die. Like that.
I just had this conversation with somebody that I love dearly not too long ago. And me and her were having this conversation, and I was telling her that why would you put yourself in a position to create debt with someone that you've never had a conversation about creating profit. Y'all ain't never one time talked about starting a business together. Y'all ain't never one time talked about starting a side hustle together. Y'all ain't never one time talked about one way that y'all can make money together. But you about to co-sign on a car for this nigga? Oh, you tripping.
I did it.
You big tripping.
I did it.
Hey, mama, hey, look, listen, mama, if you want to buy a car for him because you know it's going to help better his life, that's perfectly fine. I get it. I understand. Yeah. But you and him need to have a conversation to say, okay, I'm going to give you this car. Your current position has you in a place to where you can't pay for this car. That's why I'm doing it. So what are we going to do together to put more money in our pockets to keep you in this car? That conversation ain't happening. No. It's not happening at all. Oh, you need a cosigner? I got a 680 on my credit score. I got you, baby. Oh, you need the $2,000 as a down payment? Hey, I sold cars. I know how that hustle go. I know how it go. I done had a dude leave and go pick up his girl and come back just to buy a car. I know how that game go. I done hustled plenty motherfuckers out of money for a car. You are not having a conversation about creating income. Y'all just signing up for debt and ain't nobody talking about how the fuck we gonna create income together. Because I promise you, your relationship is gonna end so much faster holding debt over your head than income. Because I promise you, if y'all making money together, y'all gonna deal with each other attitudes. You're gonna figure the attitudes out if y'all making money together. But if every time you look up, you gotta pay this motherfucker car note, oh, you about to kick him out. Hey, get out my house, give me the keys, and you ain't taking the TV with you. Bye. You leaving with the garbage bag you showed up with.
And the dog had to go too. I sent the dog with him. Everybody had to go.
Hey, take him because I ain't buying no more dog food either. Take that motherfucker with you. I just spent $1,500 on vet bills last month. You and that punk ass dog can go.
Yes. It was.
I know. Hey, 660 is not a good FICO score, but as a car salesman, that's good enough for a cosigner. I can guarantee you that's good enough for a cosigner. I know it's not a good credit score. And that's part of the problem, because if she knew that her score was not a good score, she would have never co-signed for him. Because if she had a 750 or 800 credit score, she would have never done it. Any woman with a credit score over 700 would never do no dumb shit like that. Co-sign for another motherfucker for a car? You're crazy.
I'm going to sound crazy, but my credit score was on those lines.
See, you're crazy.
And I don't even know if I loved him at the time. My mother had just died. So I think he really caught me with a lot of stuff because, he caught me. Like, he really caught me. And he happened to fall in love before me. But then I was looking at these I was looking at these car payments that now that I'm paying, and I'm watching my credit score tank. It just didn't work. You know what I'm saying? I was in a relationship for about 5 years, and I could have became bitter and said, no, I'm never, no. I would do it today, but I would do it a different way. You get what I'm saying? I would probably get his credit right first, help him with that. You get what I'm saying? See if he has the money, before, like, it's some questions I would ask. Before, I wouldn't ask no questions. You need me, I'm ride or die. I even hate the word ride or die now. I even hate that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even like it.
Yeah, that's despicable.
Yes, like, no, like, let's get you together. Like, I mean, and I've had, relationships where I got the dudes, credit right, I put that, that little engine in his back, and then I did so much work that I just didn't see the type of results I thought I was going to see, and it just maybe fizzled out or whatever. But some of them are still standing on that push that I gave them. And I'm really happy about that, because regardless if, we're not together or what, I don't want to see you fall. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to see you fall.
I'm telling you, dude, at my age right now, at the lovely age of 31, if I'm at dinner with a female and she can tell me about who Dun & Bradstreet is, if she can tell me what a net 30 is, if she can tell me what a net 60 is, oh my God, baby, I'm gonna get on one knee right now. Like, what are we talking about? If you understand, if we can have that kind of conversation, oh, shorty, we rocking a long way. If you can tell me about how you would never put yourself as a personal guarantor on an LLC, oh my God. Oh, What's the difference between an S corp and a C corp?
But a lot of
baby, come on. Hey.
Business. A lot of people don't have businesses, so they would never know about that stuff. I learned
and you have a business, and then see that be the thing, because I've met a lot of women that say they're entrepreneurs, that they got their own business, but can't tell me the difference between an S corp and an LLC. They don't know how to build business credit. They don't know that they can go to the bank and like this. You don't know this.
Yeah,
you're not even aware, so you ain't done the work for this. I've watched females sit in the bathroom watching YouTube videos for hours just to get their fucking makeup done, but ain't spend not one goddamn time looking up business credit. You see me, I'm in the room getting yelled at about how much time I'm spending on YouTube watching these videos, but you ain't never one time try to open the video to see what the fuck I'm looking at. Oh yeah, you getting cut off, shawty. You're getting cut off.
I respect that. I definitely respect that. I definitely respect that. The pandemic led me into business. So sometimes I look at people and they paycheck to paycheck, and I understand it, but like the pandemic scared me so bad. I was like, I can't rely on this check. You know what I'm saying? So I get the logic. That's kind of why, like, I don't mind telling people around me, like, hey, I'm doing this, such and such and such, and I think we kind of should be open to that in a relationship. Okay, a lot of people say that they're in business, but they never file taxes. It's like this is the stuff I'm starting to notice. I got the rude awakening when I filed taxes. My tax preparer. See, there's a lot of people that's not even filing taxes. Then they wait until the IRS come and get them and stuff like that. I said, well, I thought this was what you're supposed to do when you had a business. And she kind of broke some things down to me. That's how I knew about some of the stuff that you were talking about as far as other things, that had to deal with the business.
I mean, I had good but people. At least you was willing to take the L to say, damn, what did I do wrong? Right. And see, and that's when I went early when we was talking that decision making. I don't mind if you take L's, baby, but what did you learn from that? Where did you fuck up at? Don't blame me. Don't blame Uncle Sam. Don't blame the customers because they didn't spend no money. No, fuck all of that. What did you learn from this experience to where you can change your decision making for this to go better in the future? And from listening to you, you know what? I was trying this for a while. It won't working. I flipped it a little bit, and then this started going. And I was like, oh shit, it started working. Like, that is fucking beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Yes, definitely. And guys, like we said before, please, if you have to, go out in the chat, hit that like button, so we know y'all in here. We definitely want to see those likes. Make sure you subscribe. I got a couple of things I want to talk about. Y'all can come up anytime y'all want to. If y'all want to say, y'all got something to say, y'all can come up anytime y'all want to. We definitely want to hear from y'all. This situation is good to have. I want to ask you about the family aspect, right? And that's the first thing I thought that I was going to see when I looked it up. But I saw connecting and trust and, does where you live or being where you're from have a lot to do with how you choose and like relationships and like picking your partner? And I'll give you an example. I'll give y'all an example. Trust. I'm not the easiest on trust. I really need you to show me who you are, and I'm in turn show you who I am. Like, you can say you love me 10 million times. If your actions does not show that, then I'm going off of those actions. I know you're just talking. It sounds good. Or you have an agenda. I hate to say agenda, but you have an agenda. Do y'all notice that? It may be, I'm thinking it may be from where I'm from. I'm very intentional about the things I do now, being very clear. And I want, like, what I want for the future, my goals and stuff like that. I never used to talk about them, but I see now I think that's how it should start. Like any relationship that I'm in, I feel like I need to put the things that I'm looking for, that I want, things like that on the table, and to see what this person that I'm gonna get with, maybe what he wants, and see where we can compromise, where we can come together. Just be a little bit smarter about, not so much falling in love, but being intentional about finding the right person, not just the person that walks up on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, do y'all understand what I'm saying with that? Like, I try to break it down as much as possible. Like it's.
I understand completely what you're saying. Me personally, I don't trust a soul. I don't trust anyone. Even if we locked in and we in this serious relationship, I don't trust you. But I will give you the benefit of the doubt in giving you what I see. If I see from your daily actions and from how you interact on a daily basis that you wouldn't do anything to compromise what we're building, I will give you that. But I don't trust anybody for shit. I don't put nothing past nobody. You gonna lie to my face just like anybody else. Well, my mother has lied to my face multiple times, so why wouldn't you?
Man, I'm with him on that one. Like you really can't really trust people like that, man. And the actions, the words and the actions have to match. That's how you build trust. Words and actions have to match. They have to be one and the same. Salute to Edelman Williams. I see you in the building, brother. And if they're not one and the same, then of course ain't nothing we can build upon, and that's for anybody. And I'm with Watts. Like my own parents have lied several times, man, and do a lot of different things. And you know what I mean? It's a bit of trauma, but it's it's your experience. Like you just know that like it's only as far as you can draw people. So like, and my thing is that I also look at the things that you do with other people, right? Like if you treat other people a certain way, right? I look at that too. So I look at if you making a certain amount of money, or you think you got a certain type of flex, and you treat people who don't have that, you treat them kind of lesser than. I look at that, yo. Or if you get a little bit of attention and that shit just makes you arrogant off top, and you really can't handle it, because some people can't handle success, right? Yeah. It turns them evil. You know what I'm saying? Well, it just exposes that they're evil. I'm not gonna say it turns them evil. It just exposes their real intentions. So some people can't handle success. So when I see these things, I notice them and I make a note of them. You know what I'm saying? And you can still be treating me correct. Like we can still be we can still be cool, and everything can still be cool, but I notice your patterns. I notice when you switch up. I notice when, you know what I mean, how you act when people act a certain way, or when people don't act a certain way. Like I notice all those things. How you treat people when you feel like you at a certain point. Salute to my homie Hink in the basement. Like to subscribe to Hink in the basement as well as Edelman Williams. These are two great content creators, two great men. Make sure y'all show them love, man, for real. And they definitely part of the family. Those who know. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you know what I mean? Like, you really got to watch how people's actions and their words match. Like that is essential. You know what I'm saying? But it's also grace, right? So my thing is I allow grace if your explanation makes sense. The explanation got to make sense. It can't be no BS. If the explanation don't make sense and there's no factual reasoning of why you switched up, we're done. Like it's a wrap. Like you can't say, oh, I'm gonna be here at 6 o'clock and then you're not there. And then I'm like, yo, hold on, you say you're gonna be at 6 o'clock and you ain't here at 6 o'clock. What's going on? You know we had a business meeting here. Why you not here? And then you're like, hey man, I was watching the game. That ain't a good enough reason. That ain't a good enough reason. Like, or if there's a female and you're dealing with men, you like, hey, I told you that we was going on this date. Like, you said to be ready by 7 and it's 7:45. Well, I'll let you know, listen, you know how women are. We late for everything. Nah, that ain't good enough. I'm not taking that. I'm not hearing that. We said 7 o'clock. It's a level of integrity. You know what I'm saying? So if you show me a lack of integrity, then I'm done. You know what I mean? I'm completely done with you. But yeah, I'm gonna let you respond. You know what I mean? Definitely.
I think it was Either Man. It said that sound like trauma. The reality of human beings is trauma builds your life. The traumas you've experienced in your life build your perception. That's just the reality of life. Like the shit that you experience as a human being creates your narrative. Because a white dude that was raised by his father and his grandfather that taught him about business and flipping property equity and all of that kind of shit, his experience is different versus mine, who was raised by my mother. My father popped in and out. I saw a bunch of niggas round the way that was showing the whoop-de-whoop and the shit like that. My perspective is different. Trauma builds your perspective on life. That's just the reality of it being a human being, right? So with that trauma, building your perception without the toxicity is where it matters, right? Because I don't trust humans because I know humans are going to do human shit. Humans are built with a level of self-preservation where they're going to do what's best for them. It's nothing I can do to combat that. Either man is going to do what's best for him and his family. Hey, this beautiful queen sitting next to me, she's going to do what's best for her and the circle she got around her. She not about to make a decision based on me because she don't fucking know me. She has no responsibility or dedication to me. So why would she consider me in her thought process? That there's a level of trauma that comes with that. Like, that's just the reality of life. Trauma comes with building your perspective of life. That's just how it goes. So for me, it is trauma that has built my thought process. I don't trust a soul. I've been lied to and played way too many times to trust anybody because I'm not going to put myself in a position to be hurt by another person lying to my face. If you lie to my face, do what you got to do, because you're doing what you got to do to survive. Just know that this marks that line in the sand where it says, I'm not crossing this with you no more. This is the farthest that our relationship is going to go. This is the most you're ever going to get out of me, period. And that goes to friendships, relationships, loves of your life, all of that. It all goes in the same thing. Because if a woman do some shit, something I despise more than anything is if I decide that I'm going to open up and I'm going to be vulnerable and share something with you and you throw that back at me. Oh, word? Bet. I ain't going to never tell you nothing about my personal life ever again. That's that line in the sand right there. Trauma builds your perspective on life, period. I don't care who you are, where you from. That's just how that goes. There's nothing you can do about that.
I agree with a lot of that. I would say I have had a trauma-filled life, so I understand what he's saying. I get it, and I see. I'm looking at certain comments that y'all are making, and you know, and I even read some of them. You know, y'all are. It seems like y'all understand what he's saying though, because I get it. If you had certain traumas, you know, once you get over them, you know, now I call it the survivor circle. Like, you know, like you go and survive, but everything looks suspect. Everything looks suspect to you. You know, even when you see true, real intention, sometimes it's like, I better not trust that. I'm not going to leave it so they can, you know, break my heart again. So I understand what he's saying. You know, I kind of had this conversation earlier. You know, I just, hi, Queen, how you doing? I'm sorry.
Hi, beautiful. I want to ask your name.
Evolution.
Oh, Evolution. Okay, I'm on my phone and I'm squinching. I literally can't see it, but nice to meet you. My name is OG Patrice.
OG!
What's good? Is that 100 Watts up here? And Mr. Bez, how y'all doing, fam? Y'all are good.
Hey, OG.
Hey, I'm glad y'all talking about the trauma thing, right? Because even I can agree with what Watt's saying, but we have to realize the effects that trauma plays on us, right, as a people, and it affects people differently, you know, and there's literally 3 kinds of trauma, and it depends on the trauma you go through and how your brain compartmentalized that at whatever age you was when the trauma happened to you, and if it was consistent or if it was a one-time thing. There's acute trauma, there's chronic trauma, and there's complex trauma. Complex trauma is the one that most affects affected us in our childhood, because most likely it was ongoing for periods of time, and more than likely it was done by someone we trust, whether it was a family member, a close friend, or relative, right? So the complex trauma is the one that affects us the most, and the traumas that we all experience in our childhood or younger adult years, teenage years, it's a lot of times that's where your brain stops and compartmentalize that, and it takes you back to that place and time, and certain triggers in life that people do, say, things, people, places can trigger those traumas, right? So in relationships, unbeknownst to the other person, and sometimes even unbeknownst to the person that has went through the trauma, it creates the person they become. It creates different types of personalities in people. It creates different types of experiences. So when you get into relationships with the opposite sex, same sex, depending on how you rock and roll in relationships, and not dealing with the trauma, getting the help for the trauma is what hurt people do to other people. They hurt them because themselves is hurt and has not dealt with their trauma. So I just wanted to come up here and be clear about that, because I learned that in my own life experience. And now I'm understanding why so much of the gender war, so much of the back and forth between men and women is not understanding why this person took you through this, why they hurt you the way they did, why they was disloyal, why they betrayed you, and all of the things that of those natures. And then it creates something in you. See, we can say that a person did something to us, and then they'll say, well, you should have chose better. But that does not negate the actions of the other person. It does not negate the action of what they did to you, in turns made you react in a certain way. See, it's deeper than the surface, and we all need to realize that and analyze that in our own selves. And I'm realizing, even for me going to therapy and realizing in my own experiences, especially in relationships, is the reason why things happen the way they happen now. And I think we need to be honest with ourselves about that, instead of what I keep continuously seeing is passing the blame game. The men saying it's all the women's fault, the women saying it's all the men's fault. And this vicious cycle will continue to go on until men take responsibility for men. And if they are traumatized by something, get the help that they need. And then the same thing for women.
No,
and then we can
the only thing
have the conversation, right?
The only thing that I don't want to necessarily push back against, but the only thing that I try to include in that conversation that you're talking about is the value of understanding where you went wrong in your trauma. There are definitely some circumstances that you can bring up where someone had no fault in it, right? If someone was abused by a family member as a child or something like that, I get it. There's no fault of the child, right? But if we're talking about as adults, some of the things that you've experienced in your life as an adult and you experience trauma from it, I personally see the value in being able to say, you know what? If I would have cut her off the first time she did that to me, this wouldn't have been my problem. If I would have set the boundary early, then this wouldn't have been the problem. So some of the trauma that I've personally experienced in my life is about understanding where my decision making led me to that. The traumas that I experienced with me being in the military and some of the nightmares that I have all come from me making a decision to say, you know what, instead of me being patient and waiting for the job that I initially signed up for, I decided to be ignorant and push forward early to just take whatever they could give me. And because I did that, that set me up for certain traumas in my life. When it comes to relationships, there are certain people that I've had in my life where I knew they won't shit. But I just kept in my mind thinking, nah, this is my homie. As long as I look out for him, he gonna look out for me. He gonna do right by me as long as I do. But every time something happened, like, nah, hey, bro, he's showing you he only focused on him. Nah, man, he ain't focused on it. I think that the value of understanding where your decision makings come in trauma, I think that gets missed a lot as adults. I'm solely speaking about adults.
No, I agree with that, because at the end of the day, it's no excuse for, you have to definitely take a look in the mirror and say, okay, I saw this the first time it happened. I may have made an excuse and let it slide. Now it's the second time I made, you know what I mean? Because we tend to do that because we want to see the good in each other, in people. We want to trust. We want to be open to say people deserve second chances, third chance, or whatever. But yes, it comes a point in time where you definitely have to look in the mirror and say, okay, had I cut this off 6 months ago, I wouldn't be in the predicament I'm in now. So I agree with that. I was just saying the traumas, and this is the thing. The thing with the trauma is that this is the outcome. You were once a victim, right? You're the person that experienced the trauma. So you're a victim in that, right? No fault of your own, especially if it was from an adult when you were a child, right? Like, no one's going to blame you. But then you grow up now, and because the hurt that was done upon you, you decide to become a victimizer, right? So we have choices in that as we get older. Are we going to be a victim that became a victimizer, or are we going to be a victim that advocates for other victims? So we have choices. And a lot of times the people that were victims choose to be the victimizers, unfortunately. And that's those people that were hurt that are now hurting other people. So I agree with your analysis on that. Yes, it comes the accountability where you have to look in the mirror, especially if we repeating the same cycles over and over again, doing the same thing and expecting different results. That's called insanity, right? So at some point, you got to look in the mirror and say, okay, you got to be accountable for your actions and allowing this to happen as long as you did. You know, it's like if the dog bites you once, shame on the dog. But if the dog bites you twice, shame on you, type of thing. Yes. Right?
Yes. I live by that. I don't give people the third chance. You don't get that. I'm good at two.
Taking an L and saying, okay, now where do I need to hold myself accountable in that, in this scenario?
Yeah, definitely.
It's funny for me because I've built this thought process that everybody gets one, right? For me, when it comes to me meeting new people or building relationships and everything, I have this thing in my mind where everybody gets one. There's going to be a moment where someone you know, someone you love, someone you care about, someone you just met is going to do something that you feel like is disrespectful or crossing your line. It's going to happen because what I deem to be disrespectful is probably a little bit different than what evolution deems to be disrespectful. And if we're, and I want to use Mr. Intellectual Soapbox as an example. He can come and have a conversation with me that'll be perfectly normal. And then he slides over to Elevation and has that same conversation, but now it's disrespectful. Oh shit, my bad, my fault. I didn't even know that you thought about it that way. I'll make sure that I don't do that again. Everybody gets one with me. But after I gave you that one and you did that from this point forward, anything that comes from that, you earned it. You fucking earned it. Because if I'm having a conversation with you and I'm telling you that what you did was disrespectful and you do it again, whatever reaction you get from here, you earn that. That's yours to carry. Don't pull trauma into it. Don't tell me I was being irrational or maybe I should have reacted a little different. I gave you that one. I told you this was your one and you did it again. Fuck trauma. Fuck all of that. You done for. Now, if I decide to continue dealing with this person from there is no complaining. See, I get called a victim blamer a lot because my perspective is always, what did you do to put yourself in that position? Again, if we're talking about adults. Now, children, that's a space where you deserve to get your ass whooped if you're harming children. But when we're talking about adults being victimized by other adults, what did you do? Where is your place in all of this? And that is complete avoidance of trauma, in my personal opinion. Because if someone is victimized and they become a victimizer, you at some point, there's some point in your mental process, whether you had a therapist or not, I don't care what anyone says, there's a certain part in your mental process where you understand that what I'm doing is because of this, and I'm doing this because of this, and this isn't right. You're like, there's some space in your brain where you acknowledge that what you're doing is not right, and you continue doing it anyway and blame it on your trauma. Well, I had this happen to me when I was a kid, so I've done it to other people, and that's just my thought process. There's a space where you come to understand that what you're doing is wrong, and you continue doing it. That is a problem.
I agree with that. I would say, especially as an adult, right? Like the topic I did on narcissistic personality disorder. 9 times out of 10, a narcissistic person know that something is wrong with them. They know that they are narcissist or narcissistic. They know that their behavior and what they do and say to people is not normal, right? Like they know it. So I agree with you, but they continue to victimize other people. And then they will use the excuse of them being a victim themselves as an excuse for the reason why they done wrong to someone else. And again, I say, yes, is no reason why, someone that knows that they are victimizing somebody just because they were a victim themselves is no excuse for them to do wrong to someone else. So I agree with that analogy.
A little bit. I get it a little bit because there is proven facts that some narcissists, they don't have empathy. You get what I'm saying? So then we got to look, if they don't have empathy, do they really feel like what they're doing is wrong? You know what I've come to learn? They have it. It's just a matter of when they choose to give it and how they choose to give it. They have it. They may lack it and it may be very minimal, but narcissists choose how and when and who they're going to give it, when they're going to show it, when they're going to give it, how much they're going to give it, and why they are giving it. Because if it benefits them, they'll show it. They'll give it. Because at the end of the day, a narcissist is all about self-absorbed, selfish, self-everything. So
that same narcissist that'll jump on your ass, that same narcissist that'll jump on you will jump on you if you try their mother or their daughter or something like that. When it benefits them, if you attack someone that they love, they will give you all of that energy. But when it comes to you and how they did you wrong, it won't mean shit. I don't give a fuck. That wasn't my family. That wasn't my daughter. That wasn't my wife.
It's all about how it benefits them. I agree, because I've seen and known that for the most part, narcissists treat the people that are closest to them the worst. If you notice, they treat other people better than they treat their family, their siblings. That's just the truth and factual. But if that person is benefiting them in any kind of way, whether it be financially, whether it be resources, whether it be whatever, then they may act like they come in the bat for that person. But believe me, that person is doing something for them that benefits them. At the end of the day, it is all about them. Yeah, believe that.
I want to kind of ask this question then, because the topic was, what are we looking for when we're looking for somebody? I know that's not the exact verbiage, but to paraphrase, what are we looking for when we're out here dating? What are we looking for? So if that's what we're looking for, what is something that you hear or see and it is automatically, this is not going to work?
One of the main things is, I believe in definitely watch how they treat other people around you, right? Because they may be putting up a front, right? But the minute you see them, they may treat their mother or their sister, they may treat them well. But you go out to dinner to a restaurant and they treat the waitress like crap. I'm on side eye that, because the waitress is still a human being. And if the waitress hasn't done anything wrong to them and disrespected them and have gave, lackadaisy, service or whatever, I'm going to still pay attention to how he talks to and treat that waitress. Because they may use that as an excuse, a narcissist. But they didn't give me good service. Okay, then have the conversation, ask for a manager or whatever. But I'm still paying attention to how you treat and talk to them. Because if you're literally calling them names, disrespecting them, all of that don't cause for, because you got bad service. Because you can ask for the manager, have the conversation with the manager. You understand? But narcissistic people has this thing that they call a mask that they put up, and they can fool you for a long periods of time. You thinking they're this nice person, this caring person, and literally their true self has not been revealed to you yet. Yeah. And you usually don't see it until you have invested, and now your feelings are involved. I know I just got rid of a narc, so I know how that goes. They are very, very good and clever, cunning, conniving, and manipulative when it comes to masking who they truly are. You don't see it until they've gotten you in a comfort level, and a comfort level of trust, and where you pretty much have feelings for them and trust them. And then boom, all of a sudden you be like, well, who the hell are you? Because now they verbally abusing you, they gaslighting you, and they devaluing you, they distracting, deflecting, the lying, the cheating, all of that comes into play. Now, literally, you've been love bombed and groomed and swept off your feet for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And then you get into a comfortable position with them, and they are totally a different person, because the first person they showed you is truly not who they are. That's who they portrayed themselves to be to get you.
Yeah. Because I was going to talk about that, because I just got a relationship with a narcissist, and I'm watching other women fall right into his trap. And I really want to say something, but I'm like, they may have to learn like I did. Unfortunately.
Oh, trust me, they are going to have to learn, because that next woman or that next man is their next supply. Yeah. And right now they're being love bombed, so they never gonna see it. They're not gonna see it. They're not gonna get it, because that person that moved on to their next supply, and they doing the same thing to them that they did to you. You didn't see it, so you got to realize that male or female ain't gonna see it either. And if you try to have that conversation with them, they're gonna think you hating. They're gonna think you jealous. They're gonna think you know what I mean? I've been through it. I had my narc's new supply called me. So when I am telling you, you just have to fall back and let the chips fall where they may, period.
And the bad
I learned that the hard way.
Is that I'm a real strong woman, and I had to be that way to get through life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm watching people that's not as strong as me fall into this trap. And I'm like, he's going to destroy them. They have no idea what they're dealing with. And me on the back end, I'm going back and forth with this person all the time, and sometimes it's just to show, like, look at this person. You know what I'm saying? This is a demon. And I always call the demon term. So I'm trying to kind of let people know, like, ladies, be careful, because I done got bit and I done came up out of it. You might not come up out of it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to change you, and I feel so bad. And every other day I have to deal with this. And it's just a thing of, dang, I feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't do nothing. I can't say nothing. And I'm going to be honest. I attract narcissists. I attract them. I attract psychopaths. Like, I attract the worst individuals in the world. And that's why I say I want to take the time to, I don't know if I'm going after what I like. And that's probably what it is. There are some women that like a little bit of, the toxic man, a couple of different characteristics. I had to really round myself in after this last relationship and say, hey, that's not what we're doing. We're not doing that. We got to figure out why we keep getting a certain type of man, and we keep getting, the bad end of the stick. So obviously it's, and I came to the conclusion that is who I'm picking. I'm not picking the right man for me. It took a long time.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? Listen, I asked my therapist, right, and she says, because I'm an empath, right? Like I know that I'm an empath. I have empathy for people. I help people and things of that nature, right? And it's not about picking a certain type of guy. It's just that you have a certain type, right? Like everybody is attracted to a certain type. Everybody has a certain type, and it has nothing to do with your type. It has to do with what was wrong with that person. And that has nothing to do with your type, because you can meet another type of man that's similar to that man, and he may not be a narcissist. So it really has nothing to do with that. So that's why I have a problem when I hear people say pick better, choose better. Because I know when I picked my husband, I knew I choose the winner, right? But you don't know, like I didn't know anything about a narcissist or a man or a woman that suffers with narcissistic personality disorder until I experienced it.
Yes.
I didn't know what love bombing was. I didn't know what all these things were until you experience it. When you don't know until you know. And what the heck? I didn't see it coming.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
May I say something, people? May I say something real quick? You know what I mean? I'm gonna say this. I think that sometimes people say that you need to choose. Well, I know for me, when I say it, right? I can't speak for nobody else. When I say choose better, I'm saying it from, people just got to take accountability and not blame people for things. Because, people get on these platforms, they start blaming every man or blaming every woman. It's like, no, hold on. Look at the choices that you have made and look at the character of the people. That's just my perspective. So I don't know what anybody else is doing it out here. I don't know people telling you just to choose better and they're not looking at what you've been through, right? Because if that's the case, then they're being disrespectful and they're not being empathetic to what has gone on in your life, right? But when I say it based on the fact that choose better because you are better and you should have better. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying it from that degree. It's like how people say put yourself up by the bootstraps, but they don't give you no type of tools or any type of guidance. Anything. Just do this. Well, how? Get a better job. How do I get a better job? I live in a town where there's just two places to work. It's a Walmart and it's a restaurant. That's it. All right, and my vehicle is this year model. I don't have the finance to drive a 2000 and something spaceship that a lot of these other people in these other towns be driving. That's all that's there. You know what I'm saying? So people have to start meeting people where they at. Not everybody lives in a major city. We're not all in Atlanta. We ain't all in New York. We're not all in California, Miami. Like, stop it. Like, we're not all in those same places and spaces. You know what I mean? We all live in different spaces and places. Some of us live in middle rural areas. Some of us live in the deep south. Some of us live in different spaces and places where the financial capabilities is different. We have to have the understanding. Okay?
Nope.
Yeah. I was saying
nope.
Well, how do I say no? I want to hear what you say.
Nope. I can't do that. I cannot do that. If we're talking about 1974, that's fine. That's cool. I get it. But bro, we talking about 2023. I'm talking about it's motherfuckers standing on the corner begging for money with a cell phone in their pocket right now. Fuck you and fuck that. There's ways to make money. If you are not trying to figure out how to better your situation, that's on you, cuz and I'm saying that personally, as someone who has been homeless with nowhere to sleep. The only reason I got out of where I was at was because it all solely came down to me changing my thought process to say, hey, bro, what you doing is not working. I'm one of them. Pull them up by the bootstraps. That's me. That's how I get down, because I don't care what you got going. There's a way for you to figure out how to make some kind of money. But the problem is there are too many people that build their perspective of money based on too much dumb shit, okay? If I'm homeless and I don't have anywhere to live, I don't need to be thinking about somebody that's making $100,000 a year. At this point in my life, the only thing I need to figure out is where am I going to wash my clothes tonight? how am I going to take a shower? Am I going to be able to get gas in my car? Do I have somewhere to sleep at night? That's my perspective right now. Okay, cool. This is my perspective right now. How do I work on elevating this? How do I get out of focusing on where am I going to take a shower to how am I going to build enough money to maintain a car note so I could DoorDash to make extra money? Okay, cool. I got a car now and I can DoorDash to make extra money. Cool. How can I do this to get into an apartment? I don't give a fuck. Me personally, like I said before, I'm a victim blamer. Some people classify me as a victim blamer because your personal situation can only be fixed when you as a person decide to change your situation. The government's not going to help you. Your neighbor's not going to help you. There's no one around you that's going to fucking help you out of your situation unless you want to. So when I see a homeless person, and I'm saying this to someone who's a GM of a place that I hire homeless people. I have homeless people that work as my dishwashers and my prep cooks because I know that when I sit down and have a conversation with them, they hey, bro, you know, like 2 years ago, I made a bad decision. I'm down bad right now. I'm just trying to work. I'm just trying to get stay out of trouble. I don't want no problems. I'm just trying to get a paycheck, cuz I respect that more than anything in the world because they're willing to acknowledge that they have made bad decisions that left them to be fucked up. I was in a position where I took a chance. I moved all the way from Virginia to Texas, just taking a chance, trying to change my life. And I did it. And when I first showed up here in Texas, I didn't have somewhere to live. But you know what? I busted my ass and now I got an apartment. I'm in the process of right now just crossing my fingers, waiting to get the word back to see if I got approved for a house. I'm in a position now to where I'm waiting for somebody to tell me if I can have a front yard and a backyard and a garage for my kids to come and visit me. That's because I made a decision for myself to get the fuck up and get to it. I have a hard time, see that empathy thing, I have a hard time having empathy for grown ass adults who don't do the work. Because you can create whatever excuse or experience you want as to the reason why you don't have what you want, but tell me what you're doing to change it. If you know that the game is rigged and people have set you up to fucking fail, what are you doing to get around it? Because if you accept failure and decide that I'm just going to be homeless for the rest of my life, there's nothing I got for you. But if you come up to me and say, hey, bro, I'm homeless. I'm trying to grind. I'm trying to hustle. I'm trying to build it. I'm trying to get out of it. I respect that so fucking much. You're not going to be able to make it happen this year. You probably won't be able to make it happen next year. But you know what? As long as you maintain that mindset that you have right now, that dedication and that drive that you have right now, you give it 2, 3, 4 years, you can be my man. Just focus on what you're doing right now. I don't have no empathy for none of that shit. When you get into the bottom of a hole and you decide to sit there, when you decide to sit in the bottom of a hole, fuck you and your complaining. Because you ain't did nothing to change it.
At that part, I agree with that analysis 100%.
Gee, hold on a second. No, I mean, hold on a second. Because he rebutted my statement, so I got to come back. Now I mean, because that's what makes me best in the world. I got to come back. Now I mean, he with the title belt. He thought he's going to get the 1, 2, 3. I'm not letting it happen. I'm kicking out. Now listen, at the end of the day, I'm not. Listen, this is one thing that I had to learn, right? And this is a valuable lesson in all of this. And watch, I'm gonna say this because I believe this and I have to believe this for myself. Not everybody's you, bro, and not everybody's me. Not everybody can be homeless and survive it. Not everybody has that strength. Okay, there's some people who don't, and there's some people who don't know. I was talking to a brother yesterday, I was talking to a brother like a couple of days ago, and I was doing some basic internet training on some basic things, right? And the brother didn't know some basic tools, right? Some very basic tools. Wasn't because he didn't care or he didn't know. It's just because he didn't have the tools. You know what I'm saying? And it took me being patient and showing him the tools that I learned. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Some people don't have the tools. Some people have the tools to make a resume. I do. Some people don't have the tools to know how to interview. I have those tools. You know what I'm saying? But I had to learn those tools, and somebody had to school me on that. You know what I mean? That wasn't a natural thing. I was privy to go to certain schools or to go to certain places or to even have certain things because My grandfather, even though he had his flaws, may have, worked for the railroad. Or my mom worked for the police department. Or this person did that or did that. So there were different things that I was given as a child that normal kids in the hood or in my surrounding areas was not given. You know what I mean? I was able to go to during the summer to a debate. I used to do debate back in high school. Don't laugh at me, y'all. I did do debate. All right, whatever. I know I'm from the hood, but I did debate. I was able to do debate, and I went to a debate. I forget what they call it when they send you away to a college, and you in high school. I forget what they call it, but it was I'm gonna call it the debate vacation, right? Because that's what it was. But I was able to go with some other kids from the inner city because I did debate. They sent us to Vermont University, right? And it was dope. You know what I'm saying? But I understand that not everybody had the tools that I had. They didn't have the grandparents that I had. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have that. Some kids didn't have that. I knew this one kid that came from my neighborhood. Yo, football was his thing. He played like a pro. Like this brother, if he would have went pro, he would have made it. But he was homeless and nobody cared about him and nobody could help him. So he was struggling in the streets. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, dude, like people like that, like I can understand. So I understand that everybody has the capabilities to be certain things. That's why when we look at certain people, that's why we call them great, because they escape a circumstance, right? And watch, you're great. You may not think that you're great, bro. You may not think that you're a LeBron or something like that, but you are, bro. You're an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? Brothers like you don't come around every day. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that, bro, from the heart. Like, you are great. You have a greatness in you that most people are not going to make it through, bro. They're going to be locked up somewhere or they're going to be doing something crazy. But you have a greatness in you that push you to a level that most people can only dream of, brother. And I'm being real about that. But I'm gonna let you say what you got to say. And then OG, go after that. Go after that, OG.
All right. I love and respect you for that. I definitely appreciate you saying that. But here's the difference. There are people with way better abilities than me that fuck up their own life. There are plenty of people that you can look on that have headlines that were supposed to be the top draft in the NFL or the top draft in the NBA, and they didn't make it because they decided to steal a fucking laptop from a college dorm. They made that decision. That wasn't something that somebody else did. They decided to take what they had to put them in the position to fuck their own shit up. Now, the people that are down bad and trying to build out of that, look, bro, it go back to what I said earlier in this conversation, decision making. If you know you at the bottom, it's as simple as getting to a library, cuz. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you a perfect example. When I first showed up here to Texas, I had $26 in my bank account. $26 is all I had in my bank account. I was supposed to move in with a family member, and he was supposed to hold me down, look out for me. We were supposed to do some work together, whoop, all that other kind of shit. It fell through, and then I ended up out on the street by myself. And when I ended up out on the street by myself, I had $4.72 in my account. I will remember this shit until the day I die. I had $4.72 in my account. You know what I did? I spent every fucking day, 7 days a week for 4 weeks in a row in the library watching YouTube videos on how to become a better salesman. How do I get coding skills? How do I get this? How do I get that? The library is free, cuz. It's free. All I had to do was just go in there and go talk to a lady at the desk and say, hey, I just wanted to use the computer, see if I can just fill out a couple of applications. I just got some shit going on. I'm just trying to stay out of the way. I don't want to cause any problems. I just went in and talked to the librarian, dog. I just need 30 minutes to fill out some applications. I'm going to get right out of your way. I filled out the applications, and the lady came back and talked to me. And she said, hey, I see that you're actually trying. Just sit here. I'm going to pay for this computer for the rest of the day. Just sit here and do what you need to do. Dog, I sat on YouTube and I watched videos on how to become a better salesman. Not even 2 weeks after that, I got a job selling cars and made more money in 1 month than I had my entire life. You know why? Because I made the decision to do something to change some shit for myself. I got tired of waking up outside at 35-degree fucking weather, sleeping on the fucking concrete to decide that I was going to make a decision for myself to do something better. You know what I did from there? I took the humble. I stood outside with a sign asking for money, and all that money that I built up, I went to Walmart, bought some slacks and a couple of button-ups. I applied for the job selling cars with slacks and a button-up. I had 2 pair of slacks and 3 button-ups. All that I got from standing outside on the corner holding up a sign saying, "We'll work for food." That shit, it literally said, "We'll work for food" on my fucking sign. I don't have any empathy for anyone who's not going to work to get out of it. I don't give a fuck what situation you're in. If you're not going to work to get out of it, no one should ever feel sorry for you. Because if you acknowledge that you're in a bad situation, you see where you're going wrong and you're not doing something to change it, why the fuck should anyone feel bad for you? If you're not putting in the effort to do it for yourself, why should anyone else? For what? But then you're going to have the nerve to walk around and complain about how everybody else is operating wrong. What are we doing?
Can I say one thing?
Oh, hold on, Evolution. I'm gonna get you in 1 second, sis, because I do want to get to OG because he is next, but I want to say this. Watch, you making my point for me, dog. That's still greatness. You may not see it as that. I know you don't see it, bro. I know you don't see it, but it's greatness, bro. It's greatness, and it's a blessing. And you also have to understand too, bro, you were given a set of skills from military, from different things that you have gone through in your life that other people are not given. And you have to understand that you were put in situations where you had no choice to survive or your head was going to get blown off. And you knew that. You knew that enemy was right across that line, brother. And it was either you or them. And damn sure it wasn't going to be you. It was damn sure going to be them. You know what I'm saying? So that's what makes you great, bro. You know how to breathe in conditions that other people can't do. And still come on this shit and smile and laugh and joke with me, and you got a whole bunch of shit going on. You know what I mean? That's a level of greatness, brother. You know what I mean? Evolution, I know you want to say one thing, so I'm going to let you say it, sister. Then I'm going to go to OG. So go ahead, Evolution. I'm sorry.
Okay. See, I go to therapy like 2 times a week, right? Every week. I got 2 different therapists. And what I've learned is to listen. Now, we listened to what he was saying, right? The most compelling part about that story was him wanting, having the drive and to be better. But did anybody hear that the librarian, not that she felt sorry, but she reached out a helping hand to help? So if we did that more for our own people, we could see more success stories like this young man right here. So you get what I'm saying? So it's one thing to say, I pulled myself up by the bootstraps by myself, but we forget the people that kind of help us and the compassion that they show. You get what I'm saying? Which we think as kind of minor because we're so busy on ourselves. That hit me kind of hard when he said it, because I was like, I don't think he had so saying that the lady took her own money. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe she saw something in you. Because it's not always where it's, I feel sorry. Sometimes like this is a brother, like you said, that's trying to get on his feet. So I'm going to put my money behind this man. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like we, as a community, we do need to help each other. But I just wanted to point that out. And I'm proud of you, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm so proud of you. You know what I'm saying? And I'll make sure I keep you in my prayers as in everyone else. You know what I'm saying? Because we really need to lift each other up. But that hit me hard because that's something big. Because people don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that no more. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. That's it. That's what I wanted to say. I'm good.
We definitely love and appreciate Hunter Watch. Evolution, yo, that was bomb that you seen that, because that is a big piece, yo. Here's the thing, greatness inspires greatness. Nobody's great on their own. And you can look at it through sports and anything else. So her greatness inspired his greatness. You know what I'm saying? He was already great. She just gave him that extra love and compassion, and we all need that. OG, go ahead and rock out. I'm sorry that we was long winded on this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I just want to say, I was going to say the same thing that Miss Evolution said, because when Hunter Ross said that, the first thing I thought that about the librarian who had empathy and compassion for you, brother. So the name of the game should be, if you see somebody else in that position, remember where you were, and if they are trying to help themselves, give that helping hand. That's how paying it forward and things like that continue to go. And I'm not saying you're not doing that. I'm just saying, always put yourself in somebody else's shoes, right? Especially if you know you were there and now you see somebody else trying to help themselves. But I agree the two things can be right at the same time. I agree with both perspectives, and I'm gonna tell you why, because I've been in spaces and personally have seen someone that couldn't come back from some traumatic thing. They didn't know how, and it's unfortunate. There are people in this world that were created just like the ones that were created to fight and to pull themselves up. There are people in this world that just can't do it. We see it every day when we see people can't deal with life anymore, when we see people that can't deal with the reality of it. Unfortunately, we see their untimely demise, whether it be by their own hands or by somebody else's hand. That's just real, you guys. And we say, well, they should have did this and but we not there in their shoes to know why they couldn't come back from something. So that I do want to say that I agree with both perspectives, that two things can be right at the same time. I had a cousin that married a guy from the military, right? And I remember being a young girl, and that was her first and only true love. He went off to serve in the war, and this had to be in like the 70s. And he got murked over there. And when I tell you, my cousin, and she was my mother's first cousin, when I tell you she never got over that, she never came back from that. She ended up getting addicted to drugs and ended up losing her mind in a nursing home until she died. She never had another man after that man. So when I tell you there are people in the world that cannot come back from something, that's true. She just couldn't come back from it. And I couldn't understand it. Well, why didn't she just go get help? And why didn't she just did it? And why didn't she get clean? And why? We can ask those questions till we blue in the face. And there's just people, guys, in this world that exists that cannot come back from stuff. Everybody is not as strong-minded, as not will set in different things as other people. We all are different. And I had to learn to respect that in that aspect. So two things can be true at the same time. There's a lot of people that don't have the resources and don't even know how to go about getting the resources. So there need to be other people with empathy and sympathize that if that person want to learn how to get those resources, then let me show you how to get these resources. Let me show you how to apply for this government grant. Let me show you how to apply for assistance. Let me show you how this or that. And then there's the ones that just don't give a rat's ass and they gonna fall by the wayside. So I agree. Why should we care about those people if they don't care about themselves? Because we cannot help anybody that don't want to help themselves. But they are absolutely, and I agree with both perspectives, if that makes sense.
And that be my thought process, right? So if we're talking about as a community, as a community of fellow melanated brethren and sisters, if we're talking about as a community, how far am I supposed to go for someone who doesn't care? If I see someone that's willing to put in the work and to do it and to grind and to get out of it and all of that, if I see somebody that does that, I am always more than willing to do what I can to help this person. But if I see somebody that I acknowledge that just doesn't have it, isn't ready to get past it, hasn't done the work to get out of it, any of that work, I don't waste any time on them. If right, wrong, or indifferent, I don't waste any time on them.
Yeah, and you should.
My time and my energy solely goes focused into and to agree with what Mr. Best is saying, that I know that my thought process, the way that I grinded to get out of where I was, that's not common. That's not something that you just see off of everybody on the street every day. I 100% acknowledge that. And I am 100% comfortable in acknowledging that I only care about the ones that have the mindset that I do. Because I'm not about to waste time on somebody that can't get past something that they haven't worked through. I just don't have it.
And a lot of the trauma, can cause a lot of those people to have addictions, right? We see it all the time. They have addiction to alcohol, they have addiction to drugs. And if they're not willing to put in the work to change, to get, to rid themselves from the addiction and to move forward and to help themselves, then they're going to have to wallow into that addiction until they either hit that rock bottom or that addiction becomes a part of their demise. It's either or. There's no middle ground for that. We all know that. We got family and friends that is in addiction or have been in addiction at some point. And we know that. So, but that is a big major part of the trauma. Goes back to the trauma that we were talking about and how people use, and get into the addictive behavior and pattern to soothe the pain that they're in because of the trauma. And it's a vicious cycle. And you literally have to know that it's not just physical, it's mental, it's psychological. It's a lot of things that, that play into that. But it all goes back to the trauma and how people internalize the trauma. And most likely, a lot of us, millions of us, soothe it with alcohol and drugs and other addictive behaviors.
I completely agree.
And this is the big thing, right? Because remember, early on the show when, and either man, I'm not bagging on you, I'm just making a statement because you made a statement, so I'm making a statement on your statement. So he said that he was bringing up trauma, right? And he was bringing up that what you said sounded like trauma, and you was like, yo, like, yeah, that is, like, trauma does affect you, right? So, in his statement, he probably wasn't thinking, or maybe he wasn't, because either man, I'm not speaking for you. I'm just saying how it was read. Maybe the way the statement came off was that he wasn't being completely empathetic or completely abreast about what you was going through or what was affecting you, right? And I'm not saying that's what you was doing either, man. Like I'm just saying, I'm just going based on how it was read. So my thing is this: I think you have to do the same thing when it comes to others. Watch, because that empathy and sympathy that you show to others who may not be on your level, who may not be on your mindset, right? You can still spark somebody who may just need you just to meet them where they're at. You know what I'm saying? We all need somebody to meet us where we were at. Somebody to meet me where I'm at for me to even have a chance to even be on here or do anything. Somebody to say, hey, young man, you got potential. You could actually make it and do something with yourself. So I think we also got to meet people where they at. Now, for people who don't, a lot of times we have to understand this, right? And this is what I do with every human being. And it's something that I kind of learned from, I forgot who I learned it from, but it's something that I think I was watching a video about this or something like that. And a person was talking about, they were talking about children, right? And salute to Embrace the Grace. Glad you pulled up, sister. Make sure you like and subscribe to Embrace the Grace. She's a dope content creator. Show her some love. She's a great sister. Salute to Embrace. Know what I mean? So this is my thing. I was watching a video about this, and they was talking about children, right? And it was like, don't you realize that children, when you're born and you're a child, all you want to do is play. You just want to have fun. You're innocent, right? You ain't thinking about religion or bills or this, that, and the third, like, or relationships. Your mind is pure, like you chilling. You in child mode, right? But what happens throughout time, right? Trauma happens. Different things happen. Different events occur. You experience life, and those life events shape you, right? And then your foundation, right? Your foundation is also going to shape who you become as well. You know what I'm saying? So these are all things that shape a person, right? So I always think about people. I always go back to their essence, right? I think about, man, at one point this person was a child and they was innocent and they were not affected by the realities of this world. You know what I'm saying? And that's what allows me to be empathetic. Like, yo, okay, they was a child at one point, yo. What made them become the person that they are? Because they didn't come out like this. Something has shaped them that made them like this. And that's the only way I can deal with people and have empathy. If I don't do that, I'm not gonna have empathy on no one. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you. Know what I mean? I'm like, I ain't gonna be no empathy in my bones, period. I gotta look at you from that essence, because now I can have a starting point of where you were at, what led you to how you became what you became. And it doesn't excuse your behaviors, right? If you do something egregious, like you still need to take accountability for your behaviors, but now I can understand it. And now I can have the empathy for you and possibly try to help you through that or be a lending ear. But if I'm not looking at it from that standpoint, then it's gonna be a wrap for them. Like, I'm not gonna have no empathy at all. I'm just gonna be honest.
So now I want to ask this question, one as an adult and two as a parent who's raising 4 kids right now. At what point do we start putting the decisions that our children make onto them as if they're adults? This is why I asked that question. I have a 13-year-old child. At some point, I have to be able to talk to her and express to her that the decisions that she make can affect her life. I am trying to prepare her for adulthood and when she is no longer in my care. At what point do I start giving her the repercussions of her decisions as if she's an adult? Because if I wait until she's 18, that's way too late. It's way too late. Now, if you tell me 13 is too early, okay, cool. Let's talk about it. Maybe it is a little too early. But when is it acceptable? Are we gonna say 15? Because if 15 is the age, then cool. I'll let my daughter live for 2 more years. But when I see another grown adult at the age of 19, if you tell me 15 is the age, when I see another grown adult at 19 years old, my empathy doesn't work the same. I feel like two things can be true. But you can't have it both ways. Either you want to be treated as an adult or you want to be treated as a child. If I'm going to start bestowing... Okay.
I would say there's a thing called age of accountability, right? And I would say at the age that your child knows right from wrong, and when I say know, it's know the difference between right and wrong. Like if you asked your daughter, your 13-year-old daughter, do you know the difference between right and wrong? And they are able to mentally and emotionally answer that question, then at that point is when you need to start holding them accountable for their actions and letting them know that doing wrong has consequences and repercussions. And these are the things that can affect you even later down in your life when you get older and not thinking that it's going to affect you. I think that every child should be asked that question and be able, if they're able to give a answer that makes sense in the content of what right and wrong is, then that's when you need to, be able to say, well, doing wrong and right both comes with accountability and responsibility. And this is the repercussions. This is the outcome of when you do wrong as opposed to when you do right. When you do right, I will absolutely commend good behavior. But when you do wrong, I am not going to stand for or commend wrong behavior. Wrong behavior begets repercussions, begets punishment, begets all of these things, right? So I would just say, if he or she can answer that question knowing the difference, then that's when they're ready to be held accountable for their wrongdoings, for their actions.
I would agree with OG Patrice, and from a standpoint of morality, I think yes, we have to teach our kids a level, our kids in our community a level of morality that's different, right? But I'm gonna give an interesting perspective, right? And this is, and I say this a lot. Some people agree with this, some people don't. It's all good. But my view on this, right, is this, right? Now, kids are taught certain things, right? And this is what I've noticed, right? Based on the economic capabilities of their parents. And let me explain. You know what I mean? When I look at those who are wealthy, right? They'll have a child that's in their 30s or 40s, and this child has no concept of real responsibility, right? Because their father is the head of Johnson & Johnson or Walmart or Target or whatever, right? So they live in a certain lifestyle, right? And their values and morals is different from ours because they're not living on the same in the same lifestyle that we are living in, if that makes sense, y'all, right? So I think with our kids, we have to teach them early as a way for them to survive. Because we know that if they're not taught certain things, the world's going to swallow them up. You know what I mean? Because we don't have the financial stability and capabilities that other cultures do that can just pay off a lawyer or pay off this one or give this person hush money or do this or do that, right? We don't have those capabilities. You know what I mean? We don't. Most people in our culture do not have that. Right.
Right. And well, that's a sense of them. That's a sense of them living, monthly being spoiled and privileged. So that's what that is, right? So their moral compass and values, opinions, and views are going to be different from ours anyway. When you,
go ahead. Let me land my plane. But okay. What I'm saying is, we think that they're spoiled, right? We call them spoiled, but for them, that's just regular life. They're not even thinking about being spoiled. It's just regular for them, right? Just like it's regular for us to get up and go get our coffee every morning, right? Or go through this and go through that. Where a homeless person, that's not normal for them because they don't have the financial capability to do that. They're homeless or they're destitute, right? So they're not able to do certain things, right? So money also plays a part of what we teach our children, the lifestyle that our children can afford. But I know for our kids, right? Because we don't have certain financial capabilities and our children have to be able to survive out here in this world, we got to teach them as early as possible. So you got to teach your kid how to cook as an 8-9-year-old. You got to teach them the tools that they need to survive because it's real out here for our kids, right? When our kids get approached by the law, they're not given the same outcome as the other kids. If they're lucky, they might, right? If God is on their side that day, they might. But we know that the cops can handle our kids differently than they handle other kids. We know this for a fact. We know this. We see this. So we got to teach our children things early because we know what awaits them. And my grandparents did that with me. They would always say, the reason we're teaching you this is because of what's going on, how the world is and how the world going to treat you when you get out there as a black man. That's what I agree.
I agree with that as well. But also, I want to add this onto it too. Also be cognizant of if your child is adolescent, preteen, teenager, also be cognizant of the fact that their brains is still not fully developed either, because we know that the brain does not fully develop until you're 25 years old. But there is levels per age, per, adolescent, preteen, teen, etc., that you can continuously, have the conversation, chastisement, have the conversation about right or wrong and what the consequences of when you do wrong and make wrong choices can do. So I just want to add that on because I don't talk to a 13-year-old like they're already 25, because we know that their brain is not fully developed in the sense of how the conversation would go with a 25-year-old or a 21-year-old or 18-year-old. He or she is 13. So you have to definitely meet them where they are as far as age wise. So I just want to throw that out there.
So this is where I say you can't have it both ways. This is where I kind of say that comes into play. Because I do understand that the brain isn't completely developed until 25. But there's a statistic that says that most children are able to understand, comprehend, and learn 2 languages by the age of 5. If you teach them, they can learn 2 separate languages by the age of 5. The only reason I bring that up is because I think that a lot of people undervalue the intelligence of children. I think we undervalue the intelligence of our kids. My child, if I would have done with the work that was necessary, by the time she turned 5, she could have learned 2 separate languages and how to play an instrument before the age of 5. Just because the human brain is so receptive to information at that time period. Now, here's where I understand the other side. Well, at that time period, they can build up so much trauma and they can learn so much negative shit. I get it. I understand. But again, at what age is it that we start looking at our children and saying, hey, bro, it's time for you to start learning different stuff? When am I supposed to hold you to the accountability of an adult? When are we supposed to start teaching other things? And then that just carries over into the adults. Because if I am looking at another human being, another grown man at 21 years old who's in the bottom, in the mud, trying to figure out what he's going to do next, how he's going to eat today. If I'm looking at a 21-year-old man and he's trying to figure out how he's trying to eat today, his mindset going to tell me a lot. I can't do anything for a man that doesn't have the mindset. Me being someone who's in the community and actually trying to, no, I got you. I'm almost done. I promise you, I'm almost done. Me as someone who actually tries to touch people around me in a way to encourage them and build them and all of these other beautiful different qualities. It's only so much I can do for you. So if you're in my community and you're not willing to change your mindset, you're not willing to do the work, you're not willing to meet me at my greatness, what are we talking about?
Okay, and I get you again, but let me ask you this. We've seen many scenarios where that smart, intelligent kid that know 2 languages, play instruments, straight A student in school, and then they'll go and do something totally outside of their character. It happens all the time. And you be like, where'd that come from? That's not like you. Like, you're smart, you're intelligent. Why did you make the decision, to decide to go with those kids and, and break into a house? Like, we've seen it all the time. We know because different parts of the brain, reasoning, understanding, all of these come from different areas of the brain. That's why I say you can have that child that can literally be that type of child. 2 languages, straight A student, 2 instruments, whatever, and then they'll absolutely go with the bad people side of those kids and go break in somebody's house. It happens all the time. Again, that's a different part of their brain that is not developed in reason why they made the decision to make that choice. That's the only thing. So again, it is 2 sides to the coin. That's why I say you still, no matter how the conversation is about right and wrong, you have to hold them accountable at the age that they are in that point. Even though they are smart and intelligent, they're still 13 years old with a 13-year-old brain. Parts of their brain may be on the left side, may be very intelligent, very mature, but the right side may be weakest. That's with all of us. And how we compartmentalize things, how our reasoning is, how our thinking is, our empathy, all of those things that triggers us in our brains, those neurotransmitters and things like that, that the serotonin in the brain, it has a lot to do with a lot of that, guys. It's not just a one-trick pony when it comes to reasoning and thinking and making decisions when you are a child.
I don't disagree with you at all. I think we are definitely, I definitely agree with you in that. The reason that I bring up the child and the thought process a lot is because as adults, we carry that childish shit with us. So for me, it's important for me to understand, because when a lot of these conversations, even if we're simply talking about what are you looking for in a relationship, a lot of this stuff is community based. These questions are built based on community. Because if I am a black man going to have this conversation with other black men and other black women, it's for me, for the sake of how to figure out how to build the black community. That's the premise of the conversation, right? So at what point are we going to now start taking the mental thought process from childish to adult? This is part of where my thought process comes from, right? So now I'm trying to understand. I do get what you're saying. That 13-year-old child that didn't have the complete build of cognizance and makes ignorant decisions. When is this individual now going to start making adult decisions? Is it 25? Is it 27? Is it 30? Like, when for me, I know it's hard. I'm a bootstrapper. I'm figure it the fuck out. I'm that kind of guy. I tell my children, they hate hearing it from me. They hate hearing it from me. A common phrase that I use all the time is figure it the fuck out. And I say it just as vulgar as that. Figure it the fuck out. Because I want them to understand that life don't care about how old you are. Life don't care about what you experience. Life don't care about what I gave you as a father. Life don't care about what your mother didn't do for you. Life doesn't give a fuck. So at some point you have to figure it out. That's
I
the
get
reality,
that.
especially us more melanated individuals. Because like Mr. Best in the World talked about earlier, when we're talking about police, it doesn't matter how old you are. We've seen Tamar Rice. We've seen Trayvon Martin. It doesn't matter what age you are. Your decision making has to be different, cuz you're melanated, brother. You have to think differently. Your disadvantages come well and above the counterparts of the less melanated individuals. So at what point are you going to figure it out?
I agree.
And 25 is too late.
I agree. And 100 watts. That's why a lot of our adults are sitting in prison, in the prison system right now for decisions that they made like a child. Because the way their brain is set up, and a lot of people, whatever age, see, trauma affects us differently, right? And whatever age that trauma happened to them is usually where that part of the brain freezes for them. So when you see in relationships that, say you're in a relationship with a woman and you and her arguing, right? I'm gonna use this as an example. You and her arguing, and you've never seen this behavior before, 100 watts. And all of a sudden, she started throwing stuff around the house and throwing stuff at you and breaking stuff. And you're like, what the is going on with this behavior, right? Then you find out, right? Whether it be after the relationship, because you can't take it no more, her tension tantrums, acting sport, then later in life, you see where at some point in her life, something traumatic happened to her at a certain age. And that sent her in a rage. And that has been her trait and her reaction since she was 13 years old or 15 or 16. You may not know it in the beginning because she may not reveal it to you. Her family members may not reveal it to you. But all of a sudden, you in a relationship with this woman, you done fell in love with this woman. And maybe 6 months down the line, a year, now all of a sudden y'all arguing over something really, trivial, but it's then got heated. And then all of a sudden she started taking all the vases and throwing them against the wall or throwing them at you and throwing these things. You're like, what the f- is going on? That's because something happened in her mind when she was a certain age, some trauma that triggered something in her with you and her arguing, and it could be curse words, it could be yelling, and then it makes her react that way. So she's reacting off of that trauma. She's going back to that 13-year-old girl. I'm telling you, this is real life experiences of the reason why adults are in prison right to this day, because of choices that they made that took them back to a childhood when they didn't react like an adult like they should have. They acted out like a child. That's real. That's the only thing that I want you to understand in that.
I don't disagree with you, but my problem is when she acted that way with me, I personally don't believe that I was the first person that she did that with.
Oh, yeah,
I don't believe that I was the first person she did that with. So if I'm not the first person that she did that with, at what point, ma'am, are you finally going to take accountability for your trauma? The last boyfriend you had, when he triggered you and he sent you into this space to do this toxic shit that you're doing, you should have did the work to go see a therapist or go meditate or smoke some weed or get drunk or whatever it is that you needed to do to work past that before you decided to get into a relationship with me. Because it's not my responsibility to fix your trauma. You should have did that work before you linked up with me.
Ding ding.
You should have did that before you linked up with me.
You just listen. It's easier said than done. Because guess what? People that are traumatized, especially in our community, first of all, number one, we don't think nothing wrong with us. Number two, we don't think we should be in no therapy because we think it's weak. We think it's all. Number three, we sweep shit under the rug in our community. Are these three things not the number three reasons why it's a bunch of us walking around here broken? Number one, like I said, she probably don't even think nothing wrong with her. Number two, if she do, she too proud and her ego or whatever, feeling a way about going to therapy. And number three, families tend to ignore the fact that they got a effery person in their family and they don't want to tell them you need to get help. They keep sweeping it under
And
the rug. So
unfortunately-
these are the reasons why a lot of this continues to happen.
And I agree with you, but unfortunately for her, that everything that you just explained, unfortunately for her, she is the reason why she falls into that statistic of why these goofy ass red pill dudes get on YouTube and say after you reach the age of 30 you ain't gonna never get married, because she didn't do the work. That's not my responsibility. That's not Mr. Best in the World. OG, that's not yours. That's not Evolution's anything. I think us as a people, that bullshit that we do where we act like we don't need therapy or I don't need to talk to nobody or all of that, that's the reason you are where you are. And people like me, I'm not wasting no time. I'm not wasting no time on you, cuz. I'm not. You ain't even did the work to meet me where I'm at right now. Why should I care about where you are in your life if you ain't even did the work to meet me where I am right now? If we talking about us as a community, I'm not wasting no time on somebody that ain't did the work to meet me at least where I'm at, because I understand and I acknowledge where I am. I'm lower on the totem pole when it comes to a lot of different things when it comes to our community. So if you ain't even did the work to meet me where I'm at, why am I going to care about what you got going on? Because I'm planning on climbing up the ladder. So when I get higher on the ladder, I'm going to give less of a care about where you are right now. I just think there's this thing where when we start talking about community, there's too much leaning on the next person where not enough people are doing the work on themselves. You're not doing the work for yourself to change your decision making. You're not doing the work for yourself to change your thought process, to change the thoughts that you have behind the trauma that you have. Because if you are if you are 26 years old and you still carrying trauma for some shit that happened to you at 8 years old, I don't want to sound insensitive, but when the fuck are you going to work it out? When are you going to work it out, fam? Are you going to wait till you're 45 to finally say, you know what? I'm past what happened to me at 13 years old. It's too late. You've done too much damage by then. At some point, we have to look at each other and hold each other accountable for the individual decisions. I know your daddy won't write. Your mama won't shit. I get it. I understand. But what are you going to do different for you? Because your mama can't live your life for you. Your daddy can't live your life for you. Your brothers can't live your life for you. When are you going to start living your life for you and making the decisions you need to? Stop using that trauma as an excuse. I carry a lot of trauma. I'm sure all of us up here on this panel carry a lot of trauma. But you know what? That trauma made us smarter. It made us stronger. It made us who we are as individuals right now. And you know why? Because we did the work. Because we sat down and took the time to say, you know what? This isn't their fault. This is my fault. I take accountability for how I put myself in this position to let this person take advantage of me. Even if the person that took advantage of you was completely wrong and a narcissist and all these other kinds of things, you at least have to sit down in a room and look at yourself in the mirror to say, you know what? I knew he lied to me 3 times in a row, but I let him continue being a narcissist. You know what? She took advantage of my paycheck 3 times in a row, but I continue letting her drain money from my account. You know what? He shouldn't have hit me the second time, but I let him do it. You know what? She shouldn't have called the police on me the 4th time, but I let her do it. We as individuals have to take more accountability for our individual shit and stop putting it off on somebody else. Because if you can do that, if you can focus solely on what you've done to put yourself in a position to be vulnerable to a narcissist, if you acknowledge what you did to let yourself be vulnerable to someone to take advantage of you, if you are willing to sit down and say, you know what, maybe I need to get my black ass off of Plenty of Fish. I don't need to be on Bumble. Maybe All Black Planet ain't for me. If you can acknowledge that, then maybe your life will turn out a little different. Instead of blaming the people that are on Plenty of Fish, instead of blaming the people that are on Black Planet, instead of blaming them, you take acknowledge for the fact that, you know what, I probably could find a dude at Whole Foods rather than this goddamn app. All right, that's my fault.
Listen, you preaching to the choir, brother. I mean, you said a mouthful,
may I say this real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is my thing. Watch, I hear you, bro. I hear you. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to push back on you, but I'm just keeping it 100. If it was that easy, everybody would do it, bro. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. So it's that easy, we will all do it.
That's what I was gonna say.
But that's the problem. It is that easy.
Hold on, watch. No, it's not. It's not. It's not, bro. It's not. because there are some people who just they're not gonna find a lady who's gonna pay for that computer like that lady did for you, bro. They're not finding that. It's not gonna happen for them. No matter how hard they work, no matter what they do, nobody's gonna step up and basically give them those tools and that love. Now, I mean, salute to Quantum Love. I see you in the building. Salute Quantum. What's going on? What's going on? Right? And this is where the empathy and sympathy comes in for people. You know what I'm saying? And this is my thing with people. You know what I mean? You know, we all have to be loved up to reach a certain level. That lady had to bestow that love upon you for you to be at the level that you at now. She had to give you that love, right? She could look at you and say what you just said up here. Hey, he ain't on my level. Well, I'm gonna help him. He had a library. You know what I'm saying? But she loved you, bro, because she seen something in you, and more importantly, it was something in her. Let's point that out. It was something in her that made her love you. You know what I mean? And made her give you something that she didn't have to do. She could have went about her business. She didn't owe you nothing, as we like to say, right? She didn't owe you anything, but she knew that she did. She knew she had to pay it forward, right? And that's the thing. Like I remember somebody was saying something on the panel, and they was like, they was like, I'm not gonna stop being who I am. I like to love people. I like to give to people. And the people who don't appreciate my love and the things that I give, then I just won't give them the stuff. I won't give them that love because they don't appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to continue to love them if they don't appreciate it. And that's the thing. You know what I mean? She stopped been hearing that men don't know how to love. Well, you need to stop listening to that, Quantum. Anyway, with that being said, you know what I mean? She loved you enough to do she had to pay it forward. You feel what I'm saying? So now that she did that for you, now you got to find someone that you can love to pay it forward with. You know what I mean? Who may not be on your level, bro. Who may not be on your mindset. You know what I mean? Because at that point, even though you wasn't on her level, because let's be honest, financially at that point, you wasn't on her level. She had to pay for you, bro. You know what I mean? But she knew, like, yo, I got to pay it forward. Forget if this young man get on this thing and the moment I start paying for this, he start looking at NBA scores, or he start watching YouTube, or he start watching BT Uncut, or he start doing this and that. She wasn't concerned about none of that. You know what I mean? She seen what you was doing, and whether you was gonna turn the right corner or the left corner, she still blessed you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's the important thing. We got to just bless people, man. And we got to love people for where we are, especially in our communities. What we have to understand is this, right? We are the ones that are the most destitute. Our communities are in shambles. Our kids are out of control. The murder and the death rate is out of control. And our kids are running rampant. They run up in McDonald's and Target, everywhere. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? So we don't get a hold of this shit, and we don't start having empathy and sympathy for each other and trying to help each other out of this shit, it's only going to get worse. Moving out the hood ain't going to just solve it for you no more. Because they coming everywhere now. They coming to the nice neighborhood. They coming everywhere. Because they hungry. They hungry. You know what I mean? So we have to find a way to meet each other where we at so that we can stop what's going on. Now, of course, we always going to have the generous in society, right? There's nothing you can do about that. Every society has it. They're going to have people who, no matter what you do, it ain't going to matter. They're not going to care. They're not going to change. And they're just going to be who they are. We understand this. I think everybody in the world understands that, right? That's fine, right? But if your bottom line is to help people, that's your bottom line. I'm here to help people. Some people gonna understand it, and they're gonna benefit from the help, and some are not. That's fine. I'm not gonna change who I am. I'm still helping. I'm still love, and those who get it, get it. You know what I mean? And those who don't, hopefully they will get it before they're not here no more. You know what I mean? And that should always be our goal. So the fact that she gave you that love, brother, allowed you to be where you at now. Allowed you to be a manager. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you got to do from now on. That's the mindset that you got to have. Man, yo, this lady paid it forward for me. Damn, I got to meet somebody and pay it forward for them. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully they have the same attitude as you. Because they may not, right? That's a risk. She took a risk by giving you that money. She took a motherfucking risk, right? But she took it anyway, bro, because of the love that she has in her heart. I want to get Evolution response to this, man. She's been quiet for way too long.
I mean, I agree. I was just kind of letting you guys talk, and I agree. I mean, I still feel like, you know, we have to show empathy to our own people because nobody else is showing that empathy to our people. We you know, I was actually thinking earlier when you guys were talking about the people that helped me, the people that helped me become a DJ, the people that helped me become a business owner, you know, even the people that helped me in content creating, you know, Mr. Best was one of them. You know, without these people, I wouldn't know what to do and how to do this stuff. You get what I'm saying? Even with the DJing, I didn't know I wanted to be a DJ until somebody said, you know, I like the fact you get along with everybody, you're sociable. You know, let's see if you can do this. I wouldn't have known that I was going to be good at that stuff. You know, and I'm gonna be honest, everything I've done, somebody has been like, you look good for that. We're gonna put you here and we're gonna teach you this. And that's what it's been, you know. And I myself afterward would further say, you know what, I want to master this. Since they thought I was good at this, I want to master this and show them that, you know, their investment is going to the top. You know, but I'll help anybody. If you ask me, I'll help you. Now, this is my thing. If I give you the tools to help yourself and you don't help yourself, guess what? I did what God told me to do. I was supposed to give you the knowledge. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you don't, just like you know, you push a child out there, you push somebody out there. If they don't succeed, that's not on you. What's on you is the fact that you open up your heart and you did God's work, you know, which I call, you know, loving thy neighbor and helping someone, you know, get off the ground. It's up to them what they want to do afterwards. See what I'm saying? Or what they want to do with it. You know, even if they never do anything with it, that's not on you. You get what I'm saying? You did what you were supposed to do. But if you go with that hard heart, you know what I'm saying? That cold heart, because I got a little bit of it too, so I know how it is. And I'm not helping this one because I've got here. That's almost like the crab in the barrel thing. And I know y'all know that. You know what I'm saying? I'm up here. I don't want to touch you because you may, you know, pull me down, you know, and I don't want you to get on my back. You know what I'm saying? Because we may both fall. Now I'm down here with you, you know, and we kind of forget where we started. You know, so I feel like we should help each other. I do. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no problems with it. You know, I help my enemies sometimes, or those I know don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, because it's not about my feelings. It's about you ask me to help, or I see something in you. I'm going to just get that to you. You know what I'm saying? You got to deal with Jesus on what you do with it. That ain't on me, you know? If anybody can understand what I'm saying. I believe in helping our community. That's what I'm going to say on the subject.
I just want to say good night. I'm gonna listen to y'all in chat. Let y'all finish rocking out. Great conversation. I ain't helping my enemy. Period. Point blank. Sorry about that one, but that ain't happening with OG Patrice. But that's just like me asking my enemy to pray for me. I ain't gonna do that one either because I know they praying for my demise. So I'm not helping my enemy. But I'm gonna listen in the chat. Great conversation. I appreciate everybody's perspective. Thank you guys for letting me come and rock with you once again. And salute and good night.
Much love, OG. Good night.
All right, nice meeting you, Evolution.
You too, beautiful. And all my queens is beautiful, and I put a lot of love and respect, and you know what I'm saying, into my black queens. You know, I feel like, you know, the good women don't get enough credit. So when you said about the librarian, that's the first thing that shot out at me. Like, look at her, you know, she was a sister, right? I hope she was a sister. I didn't even ask. I just felt her spirit like she might have been a sister. Was she a sister?
She was. She definitely was.
I'm glad she was, because that, you know, that shows that we got some good women out here, you know.
Man, salute to our brother Smitty. You know what I mean? Smitty, what's good, man? Glad you pulled up. Chop it up with us, man.
Sorry I'm late. I've been taking care of a lot of different things. But you know, always got to come through and salute everybody. 100. All right. Respect to you, black man. Evolution. Miss Brooklyn. the oh so lovely. And how are we this evening?
Thank
All
you.
right. Respect to you, beloved. So what was just throw me the question or whatever. Now I guess I'll wing it.
I wanna, if I could, let me take it from here. So look,
Sure.
so Mr. Best, my brother, I know you have been on the internet long enough to come across enough personalities to know that there's some ain't shit people on this planet. There are some melanated motherfuckers that ain't shit. And I want to give a context to say that you have done something to help me in my life. And the only, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but the only reason that you did anything to lift a finger to help me is because when you listen to me talk, whenever you see me out in these YouTube streets, anytime you've ever seen some content that I've put out of myself, it's always about being respectful. It's about building the community. It's about having a conversation. It's about so many positive different things. There are things that you had to see for you just to decide that you were going to help me in my situation. The only thing that I'm saying is that you acknowledge something in me that made you want to help me. There are plenty of people that you've seen on this platform that ain't shit, and you would never in your life waste any breath of anything you have in you to help them. Now, when we come back to the librarian, the reason that she helped me is because I was vulnerable with her, because I was honest with her, because I gave her gave her what it was that I was going through, because I gave her what my plan of action was moving forward. I didn't just walk into that library looking for a handout. I told her, hey, this is how much money I have on me right now. It'll only buy me an hour on your computer, but I need at least 2 for me to fill out applications. I came to her and told her how I'm trying to better myself. There are things that I set up and put in place for her to understand that I was about bettering myself and not blaming other motherfuckers around me. Now, if she would have decided, okay, well, if that's all you have, you just gonna get the time that you got, I promise you, within myself, I would have got back up, went back outside, and got the money that I needed to do what I needed to. There's too many people that have shit going on around them where they're looking for someone to help them. They're looking for the community to lift them. They're looking for food stamps to go up so they don't have to worry about the inflation of groceries. They're looking for rent relief to help them so they don't have to pay their rent. I wasn't looking for that. I was grinding. I was hustling. I was telling her what my plan. I had a whole plan. She didn't just help me just because I'm black. She didn't help me just because we melanated together. There was a plan that I had. There was a thought process that I had. There was a mental processing that I built within myself for her to even want to do that. I don't owe anything to anyone in my community if they are not working on building themselves or the people around them. If I have a conversation with you and your whole thought process is how you're down bad and you're going to blame everyone else for how you're down bad, I'm not doing nothing to help you. But if you down bad and you're going to tell me, yo, this is what I learned from the shit that I did before, this is what I'm going to do to make sure that it doesn't happen again. If that's the conversation that you have, then I'm going to help you. Now, there's a space where there are narcissistic people that can communicate that way, and they're just trying to manipulate you for their money. That's just a risk you got to take when you playing that game and wanting to help people. But the ones that actually want to do it, is actually trying to get it, is actually trying to build. I care about them. I have the empathy for them. The ones that are built like me, which is rare, I completely understand that it's rare that they exist, that they're built the way that I am. But when I see it, I love it that much more because I understand the rarity of it. And the thing that I hope for is if I take care of enough of these rare individuals, they're going to rub off on the people around them. So these ones that are lazy and lackadaisical and don't really care, I'm hoping that the ones that's really with it is going to rub off on the people around them. And that's how the community is going to grow. See, the ones that operate in extremes the way that I think, they're not the ones that's going to change the community. It's the lazy motherfuckers that have to get motivated to do it that's going to change our community. That's what has to happen. So my focus is solely on the ones that's active and ready to get to it to influence the others. Because the ones that ain't active and still riding the fence, I don't care what you want. That's just me. That's why I believe in that bootstrap shit. Because either you gonna get it or you not. Period.
But family, that's your calling. That's what you're called to do, right? And I have a brother that feels the same way. One of my brothers feel the same way that you feel, right? And that's your calling. I'm not saying that your calling is wrong, but my calling is different. You know what I'm saying? My purpose is different. My purpose is like, yo, I'm here to help. You know what I'm saying? No matter what level you on, you could be an 8 person because maybe through the love that I give you, that can change you from an 8 person to somebody who actually has value and morals and standards, right? My job is just to love. Now, what you do with the love is up to you. Like Evolution said, I'm gonna love you, and what happens with the love that I give you is solely up to you, right? And maybe you don't have the patience for that, bro, and that's fine, right? Do your part. Do what you can. You know what I'm saying? Do what you can, bro. I'm not telling you that you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? I believe you could do more. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you just have to. Maybe it just takes time for you to just gather more patience. You know what I'm saying? Thinking about some things like, damn, okay, all right, let me see. Maybe I could be called higher and do more. But if you wanna be where you at now, bro, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm not disagreeing with your morals or how you feel about how you should help people. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. You know what I mean? Because that's your calling at the moment. But I do believe that you can do the things that I'm doing, if not more. You know what I'm saying? I totally believe that. I believe we all could. I'm just one human being. You know what I mean? So, and one man can't change the world, as Big Sean has said, but it can happen. You know what I'm saying? So, Smitty, man, you know what I mean? Definitely rock out, man, if you kind of understand what we're talking about. If not, then, I can give you more clarity.
Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and piggyback off of what Brother Watts was speaking on. So I would say definitely what you're speaking is, Brother Watts, you're speaking with the tongue of a man who recognizes how valuable resources and peace of mind is. Now, I'm saying that to say because I honestly 1,000% concur with you. See, the thing is this, right? So again, let's just say this brief part, if we took it to spiritual, when they say casting your pearls to swine. The thing is that helping people and stepping outside of yourself to do something for folks that you don't have to do, but it's like, I guess, the morally right thing to do, it can absolutely burn you out. Because the thing is that folks who genuinely want to help, the reason why we genuinely want to help is because we want to see you succeed. We want to see you get to the next level. And it is absolutely heartbreaking to be giving out your resources and giving out your time and everything just for it to pan out to be nothing. And the most dangerous part about that, when people do that, like waste and burn bridges and waste resources, is it's not about you messing that up. It's about you mess it up for people that come behind you. It's a lot of people with a wonderful heart who really do want to give more and do more and stuff, but I think people need to recognize, more so than the words that's coming out of that person's mouth at that moment, I think we need to take time to think about, where is that coming from? Because that's coming from a place. And I know all too well about that place of being someone who you just want to see people win. And when you take time to go out of your way to help somebody at least reach the next step, and they just shit on it by either not following through, not being, not being consistent, a bunch of talk. That's why I'm so, hey, you already know how much I talk about we love a good feel good rally, but don't follow through. Love to talk about some shit at the cookout, but then, when it's time to get to work, everybody got something in the oven. So I totally get where Brother Watts is coming from. So with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. I'll keep on listening.
I just think that there's power in power. I don't disagree with what you're saying. Like, I know that there's a level of patience I don't have. I'm still working on it. I'm developing it. I don't have patience. I am very short with people that I don't fuck with. If you give me a bad vibe, I cut you off easily. If you throw up a red flag, I cut you off with a quickness. I'm definitely in that. I understand that I need to build more patience. I am one of those individuals that think a lot about us as a collective, the buying power that we have. Like, we have so much spending power, but we don't have any financial power whatsoever. Like, I think about stuff like this. And when I think about stuff like this, my brain is only thinking on and worrying about trying to collect the people that have the strong mindset. Because us changing how the world perceives us as melanated people, whether you're Black, African, Caribbean, I don't care what you are. If your skin tone look anything close to mine, there's a certain power that we need to start building. And that is only done by building the strong. The weak are going to build along with us, but as long as we can collect the strong and those that have the power and the ability to do it now, if we can collect them to somewhat similar, get on a same page, we'll be able to change the fucking landscape so fast and so strong. I don't have the patience to worry about teaching somebody that don't want to learn. Anybody that's willing to learn is going to grow. They're going to ride along with us. It's gonna happen. But if you're not in a place where you're ready to grow, you're not in a place where you're ready to learn, you haven't got past that part of trauma in your life, you haven't gotten past that part of blame in your life. If you're not past that, there's nothing I can do for you. That's just what it is. If we're talking about changing anything, we can only do something with the ones that's ready to do it. That's just where my brain is.
Well, even deeper, because, you're smack on again. All right, so we literally have a certain amount of breaths while we're here before we exit this vessel, right? I don't know what each person's number is, but it's an actual count and a number of how many inhales and exhales you will take. I am not going to take a chance of not being able to utter those last words to my loved ones because I wasted those inhales and exhales during times trying to convince grown-ass people of shit that they clearly do not want to acknowledge and or address. I'm not doing it because it's literally a waste of my life to do so. I could be using those inhales and exhales in a much more productive manner around people who will be receptive. I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna start getting everybody's last statements, right? This is my thing, right? Now, I get what y'all saying, and I do believe that, yes, if a person once you gave them that love, if they reject it or they don't want it or they're not for it, then yes, you have to, you have to let them make their own decisions because you already did your part. But we at least have to do our part first, right? So once you show me who you are, once I did my part, if you like you were saying, don't cast your pearls to a pig, that's true. Smitty, you shouldn't, cast your pearls to a pig. But in order for me to know that you're a pig, you got to prove that you're a pig, right? So once you prove that you're a pig by me showing you that love, and now I showed you love. You proved that you're a pig. Now I know how to. Now I know where you stand. Cool. I can move on and move forward. You know
So,
what I mean?
Bob,
But hold on. I just want to land real
my
quick.
bad. Go ahead.
And then I'm gonna let everybody make their statements, and I'm gonna close out. But that's the thing. Like people prove who they are in your life. So once I show you love, then really the ball is in your court because I showed you the love already. I did my part. Showed you love, did my part. Now it's on you. It's on you. I don't have to do nothing else. You know what I mean? Now there's more love that will come if you show love back. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're not able to show the amount of love that I'm showing and you actually give me a real explanation of why you're not loving on the level that I'm loving, that's cool too. I'm willing to accept that. But if you just don't care and you just kind of out here trying to take advantage of me or whatever, then yes, of course, I'm not going to continue to, give you that love because it will make no sense for me to do that because I'm gonna hurt myself, and I'm not giving to somebody who actually needs the love and can actually benefit from it. So that is my last statement. I'm gonna let everybody else roll out and see what they got to say.
Ladies first.
I agree with a little bit of what everybody said. I still feel like, I guess the person, I guess it depends on the type of person that you are. Because, like I said before, I do believe in helping, my fellow man and my fellow woman. I don't think it's going to stop anything. It's not going to be detrimental to me to help someone else. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you should do your part. You know what I'm saying? And I am, like I said, a person that has been helped many, 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 many times, and I can honestly say those people haven't come back and ever said, hey, well, what did you do with it? Well, it was just a thing of I did my part, I helped you, and that's it. Take off, do what you have to do. So I guess they led by example, and that's what I'm going to do. I was raised that way, actually, so I don't think it's anything wrong with it. I think that sometimes trauma comes with, like I was saying, that cold heart that the world did me wrong, so everybody else is on their own, and that definitely can be detrimental to, every aspect of your life. You could be missing out on good people just because they down their luck don't mean they're not good people. You get what I'm saying? You could be teaching somebody. You could be teaching your next husband or wife. Like, you never know. You could be teaching, I'm going to just put it out there, the next president or the next, really big person. Like you never know. So I believe in that. As far as, us talking about, just summing it up, the narcissist and, and the prioritizing of the mate, I'm going to keep doing the work, to try to make myself better and get the best person for my life into my life, and I'm going to stop and I'm going to look for the signs of the narcissist and the psychopaths and, and try to figure out why do I attract that person and do better. I try to sum it all up, but that was it, Let's say too much more. It's on you, Kings.
In summary for me, evolution, now that I've had this interaction to be able to interact with you, I definitely gonna respect you. You know what I'm saying? When you speak, I listen a lot more. Smitty, I feel like we've been in this space where we agree so much that I have to find something that I disagree with you on just so I can challenge my development, just to see if I'm growing and everything
is
like
healthy. That. A good spar is healthy.
Yeah, for sure. In terms of the conversation that we had here today, I'm one of those people that I love on those who love. Mr. Best know one of my common phrases: I love those that love me. As long as you love me the way that I love you, you can show me the energy the same way I give it to you. We good. I don't care what financial status you're in, what relationship status. I don't care about none of that. If your energy can match mine and I can give you love the same way you can give me love, then we good. We good for life. a great example is Mr. Best. Like, he one of them people that every time I've seen him, his energy is in such a way that anytime I see this man, whether it be in YouTube or in real life, whenever I come across this man, he good by me. You know what I'm saying? And that to me is built on who he is as a man, the traumas that he's been through, the shit that he's dealt with. For him to build himself to be who he is right now is exactly why we ended up crossing paths at the time that we did, with the mindsets that we did, with the beliefs that we did, and everything like that. For him to be who he is what made me want to lock in with him. Me being who I am is what made him want to lock in with me. And I truly believe that when we say iron sharpens iron, is because we as strong individuals are looking for other strong individuals to bounce off of. If you are a fucking marshmallow, please get out of the way so I can sharpen my steel with another steel. I don't need like all that soft needing to be coddled and looking for excuses and stuff. Please get out of the way, work on whatever you need to work on, develop that, and then rejoin the conversation. And when we talk about relationships, that goes to boyfriend, girlfriend, baby mama, baby daddy, husband and wife, mama and son, father and daughter, best friends, I don't care. Any relationship you can ever think of, co-workers and bosses, I don't care. Any relationship you can ever think of, always is, it comes down to what you can give to the other person. It always comes down to what you can give, whether it be a financial gain, an emotional gain, a spiritual gain, a physical gain. It doesn't matter what it is. Your relationship is built on what you can give to the other person. And if you're not in a place to where you can give to other people, you are of no value. Period. You are of no value if you can't give anything to anyone else. And if you can't give it to yourself, then you damn sure can't give it to anyone else. So focus on what you're giving and what you can give yourself before you start really worrying about what these relationships look like, especially before you start as a man out here chasing box and all of that. Look, it can get a whole lot deeper. He trying to wrap up. What you give to other people is important. What you give to yourself is more important. Focus on that, and then you can build an empire if you can give yourself the world. That's my time. I'm gonna move out the way.
Definitely, I hear what you're saying, bro. I hear what you're saying. The only thing I have pushed back on is that everybody does have value. You know what I'm saying? But some things are not realized. Some potential is not realized, but everybody does have value. But they have to understand that they have value as well. And people also have to basically embrace you to give you value. So it's like I said, somebody has to light that spark in you as well. But man, I appreciate everything you said about me, 100 Watts. Much love to you, brother. You already know I love you, man. You know what I mean? And definitely, man, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you need from me, I got your back, 100. You know what I'm saying? Just like your name. You already know, bro. You know what I mean? So now it's on Simon and Smitty. And y'all, for those who don't know, I'm going live again in about 30, 35 minutes on Knowledge and Relationships. We're going to cover if family really matters. You know what I mean? This is the longest that I've ever been on YouTube. Oh my gosh. But yes, I'm gonna do it because I gave my word. You know what I mean? So anybody want to rock out next, go ahead. You muted, Smitty.
My button went away. It was crazy. Anyway, so I'll go ahead tap in here because I'm gonna go ahead and take care of a few things. And I may join you for a quick second on your next one, man, if I'm able to. So getting to it. One, always a pleasure to see everybody up here. Simon, even your wild ass. It's good to see you, sir. All right. So soapbox to what you were saying, right? The whole like when you were saying I'll do things for that person and give them some love and everything, and then if they double cross me or don't appreciate it or what have you, then I'll go ahead and move accordingly. Well, I get you on that. I do, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not even saying don't do it. My personal method, I sit back and I watch. I just watch you. We ain't got to talk that much. I'm just going to observe how you move. What is your relationship like with other people? What's your trust factor like with other folks around you? You see what I'm saying? The whole nine. I'm just going to watch you. And then from there, I'll make the assessment. Why? Because I'm the type of person, when I say I'm a help, if I say I'm going to be there, Soapbox, we talked about this on the back end. I'm all in. I don't half-ass nothing. So if I'm going to give you the benefits of me backing you fully and truly, truly being that loyal person that's going to stick with you thick and thin, I'm not about to exert that for nothing. I'm not doing that. You smell me now? And then even down to when you were saying everybody has value, yes, believe it or not. Now I know some people not gonna like me saying this, but that's okay because we all know Smitty does that. Some people's biggest value, believe it or not, is simply being the key example to everyone else of what not to be. Yep, that was the best thing you did for the world. You gave me an example to show my daughter. You see that right there? That's what dad be talking about. That right there. Now you see the results of that. Now, where are they now? Locked up or whatever, on the street or in the ground, Lord forbid, whatever it may be. And then I go about displaying the results. Right? So yeah, I would say that is definitely something very valuable. Yes. But it's a shame that has to be the form in which your value, is shown. And even down to last but not least, when it comes to the whole trust factor and everything, I am a firm believer in action. Action. The fact is that, come on, think about it. Online, in prison, wherever it is, people can tell you whatever in the world and make you think that they are any and everything. Period. Like the fact is, we have seen time and time again in so many different categories, from a pastor in the church to a politician to the guy down the street, ex-best friend, and everything else. We have seen time and time again where we have before our eyes people running their damn mouth, and then it all winds up being a damn lie, or it's not what they sized it up to be. You could have just kept it a buck, right? So with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. I'm gonna go ahead and kick rocks. Brooklyn, you have a wonderful evening, love. Simon, all right, bro. Simon, have a cutoff limit. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate
You love
you.
me?
I'm here. I'm here.
All right, Simon.
Jesus. I'm just saying, to go off what Smitty said. The thing is, it's it's not like we're stupid. Like we can suss shit out. We've been doing this for a generation. What? Are we trying to say that all of a sudden we don't know how to talk to people? We don't know how to communicate with people. We don't know how to get in touch with people. Do you remember that phone where it was like a ring dial and it was just like ring ring, and you had to pull it back? It was like 1 0. We are too comfortable. Now where we got mobiles and it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna ding ding. We're too close without even realizing how close we are. So thing is it's kind of interesting. But what we need to understand is how this affects people. And how it affects people is kind of different, especially in terms of relationships and your prioritization. What do you prioritize? Do you prioritize yourself, or do you prioritize relationships? Do you prioritize the black woman, or do you prioritize the black man? And seeking a mate is something where we are almost untrained in because we're not taught that. You go through the whole school process and you're like, yeah, I just need to get my degree. I need to get my GDP. I need to get this, that, whatnot, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I need to be successful and go and walk into an office where I could just do this. I felt that because it feels like nothing. No, yo, as much likes as I get, as much follows I get, it's like when you walk into the office, you're putting on your thing that you need to iron, your suit, your body armor, whatever you need to do. Like you need to iron that shit. And you gotta get your kids straight as well. You know what I'm saying? You need to get all that crispy and lean, so that when you walk into the office, it's like, yeah, I'm cool. And make it happen. Do you get what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with that, and that's what we've been doing for, I guess, last 10 years or so. God, we got look, people be out here talking like black women trying to make themselves pretty. Yeah, black men be doing the same thing. Don't think that for a second. We be putting on them suits. We think about it as well in the same way. It's just a different thing. Like I got a daughter and she be watching shit on YouTube and on all types of stuff, and she's looking at how black women dress themselves up. And I'm like, I can't take away from you. I'm weighing up the cost. I'm like, okay. I'm gonna bring you to a hairstylist every month for the rest of my life. Am I gonna have to do that? Because I could shave my own shit off, right? I could just get I could just do that, because I learned that in the pandemic. Before that, I didn't know. I was just like going to barbers and they was like, yeah, I need to get a haircut. We're gonna chop the shit up. Where are we at with our community? Where's the engagement? Well, let's see. Let's see how we get to this. I appreciate you for having me up here, Intellectual Soapbox.
Definitely, brother, definitely. But I gotta cut this short because I gotta eat some food, and I'm going live in about 30 minutes, about 25, 30 minutes. I'm gonna let Evolution say her last remarks, and I'm closing this bad boy out. Evolution, go ahead.
I'm good. I really enjoyed myself. I had a good time. And I appreciate everybody's thoughts and their opinions, and I learned quite a lot too. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah.
Definitely salute to Evolution. You know what I mean? It's our first show. You know what I mean? It's episode 1 of the Intellectual Evolution, era. And we got some more stuff coming for y'all, man. So peace and love to everybody. Excuse me. Thank y'all for pulling up. And with that being said, I'll see y'all sooner than soon. And with that, we are out.